Hello and welcome to the CIML Football Pregame Show. I am your host, Blake Walker. Welcome to Week 7 of the Iowa High School football season here in the Metro. Big slate of games tonight. Very important games. We have a lot to cover here on the pregame show. RPI rankings have dropped. We have a pretty special player of the week from last week. Kind of came out of nowhere. We have coach interviews and much, much more. Let's jump right into our CIML pregame show. Athlete of the week from Week 6. Joey Nahas of Dowling Catholic is our player of the week here on the CIML football pregame show. 7 of 11, 126 yards and 3 touchdowns. And get this, he played in one quarter. He came in the fourth quarter when Ankeny Centennial was up by a couple touchdowns. Dowling comes all the way back and defeats Centennial in triple overtime, 41-35. The junior, Joey Nahas, is our athlete of the week. RPI has dropped. The Ratings Power Index. This is what is used to set the postseason for the top 16 teams in the RPI. It looks a little funky, we will admit here to start, but trust me, everything will work itself out. And how the RPI is set, they take their win percentage, their opponent's records, and their opponent's records. They throw that into a formula, and that's how the RPI is created. Let's take a look at the RPI. Bettendorf is the number 1 team at 6-0. Iowa City Liberty is at number 2 at 5-1. Waterloo West is at 3rd. Valley is at 4th, and Pleasant Valley is at 5. The schedule gets tough for Liberty and Waterloo West the rest of the way, but being this high could help you as you go towards the rest of the season. 6th place is Ottumwa. The Bulldogs are the last undefeated team in Class 5A, and they are also the lowest, also being them and Bettendorf. The Bulldogs sit at the 6th spot. Their schedule also toughens up. Their opponent's record is just 16-38 on the season. That is also the lowest in 5A. Dowling Catholic is at the 7th spot. Linn-Mar is at the 8th spot. Throw in an imaginary line in between the 8 and 9 spot because 1 through 8 get home field advantage. The rest have to go on the road. Think about that as you go forward. Iowa City High is at the 9th spot. One of their losses is to an out-of-state school, Joliet Catholic. We still take the RPI from Joliet Catholic, so it's a good loss for Iowa City High. And the Johnston Dragons come in at the number 10 position. At the 11th spot, Sioux City East coming off the loss to Southeast Polk. They have to get to winning. They sit in the 11th position. A couple CIML teams occupy the next couple spots. Ankeny is at 12th. They are the highest ranked 3-3 team in Class 5A. Waukee is at the 13th position. Ankeny Centennial is at 14th. Dubuque Hempstead rounds out the top 15. 16th position and would be currently the final team into the postseason is Council Bluffs Abraham Lincoln. They are currently sitting at 4-2. But, again, a lot can change in the next couple weeks. If the playoffs started tonight, Southeast Polk would be out. They are currently 17th. That's why tonight's game versus Waukee is so crucial. Iowa City West is at the 18th spot. Urbandale is 19th. And Davenport North, despite being 4-2, is at the 20th position. You may be wondering, where is Waukee Northwest? They are down at the 22 spot, currently sitting at 2-4. Northwest really can only afford to lose maybe one more game. Even that might have to win out the rest of the way. Those are your RPI of the top 20 in Class 5A. We're going to toss to a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about some coach interviews and what's on tonight here on the Central Iowa Sports Network. You are watching the CISN Football Pregame Show. We'll be right back.
The world is going electric, and Metro Heating and Cooling is leading the charge. Just like Tesla revolutionized how we drive, we are transforming how you experience comfort by offering electric air source heat pumps. Experience the unparalleled efficiency, comfort, and savings, and the best part is, it's more affordable than ever. Receive up to $3,000 off a qualifying Trane home comfort system. Join the electric revolution with Metro Heating and Cooling and enjoy a smarter, greener future today. Visit our website or call us now to make the switch.
The deals are hot this month at DeArmond Ford Indianola. New 2024 F-150 XLTs with 3.9% for 60 months, plus up to $8,000 off MSRP. Get $6,000 off or 2.9% for 72 months on new 2024 Expeditions and new 2024 Edge and Escapes, both with 1.9% for 60 months, plus up to $2,075 rebate. No payments for 90 days on all new Fords at DeArmond Ford Indianola.
A fuel choice that even rivals can agree on? Now that's worth the hype. Cheaper, cleaner, and homegrown. Pump it up with unleaded 88.
Welcome back to the CISM Football Pregame Show. I'm your host, Blake Walker. It is time for the coach interview segment of tonight's pregame show. Our own Paul Yeager had a chance to sit down with Coach Pezzetti and Coach Brunn ahead of Centennial and Roosevelt's big game tonight.
Here at our pregame show, co-head coach Ryan Pezzetti. Coach, what was the mood like in practice on Monday? Guys ready to come to work?
Yeah, urgency. We got to get back to it last third of the season. We're healthy to a certain degree and looking forward to the game tonight.
Was the message anything different from Friday night to Monday or Tuesday or anything this week?
We just got to win football games. You know what? We let one get away from us on Friday night to a good Dowling team, and now moving on to the last third of the season, like I said, it's very important that you start picking at the right time, and we're excited to get to that point.
You mentioned urgency. That's a word that stands out to me. You always hope guys always have that at practice, but it's what prompted it?
Well, you look at the playoff situation, how the RPI works, and you look from afar about where we're at, and with our schedule, it's a competitive schedule, just like it was a year ago, but some things are not lining up like we would prefer, and you can't control those things. We just can control us, and moving on against Roosevelt tonight is a big game for us.
What is moving well for you right now? Let's start offensively.
You know what? Offensively, we've been pretty consistent. We just talked today. I think Chase is a few yards away from getting 1,000 throwing. That's balance for us. Ran the ball at times very well on Friday night, but you need to have that equal run-pass option, and our special teams need to be outstanding as well.
Well, you have a great kicker. Let's know, yeah. But you don't want to rely on a kicker.
No, you know what? He's there. He's been consistent. He's kind of our hidden gem, so to speak. PATs you just take those for granted. Any time we get within 50 yards, we know we're in his range. But Ryan Bendezu, who we're talking about, just outstanding year so far.
Still one of my favorite names to say of all these years. Deacon Cahey is another one. Offensive line, let's talk about them for a minute. You had a couple of injuries here and there, but piecework, how do you feel that unit has gelled?
Outstanding. They're very well coached. They respond well to adversity. They get the job done. Competitive-wise, they're at a high level. And we need to lean on them these last three games.
Defensively, Curvey, Bassett have been good at the corners. What is it about good edge rushers, edge defenders that are important for
You know
defense?
what? They're just so athletic. It's hard to get outside them. The pass rush has always been good, but it's not just those two. The defensive unit has put in winning efforts every week. Been really sound. Going forward, we know, just like you said, our offensive line, our defense will get us where we want to be.
Defensively, you're also a team that tackles well, but you're hoping it's not the safeties and corners that are doing the work,
Yeah.
but the linebackers. How important are the linebackers for you right
Oh,
now?
outstanding. You look at Reed Anderson, Carlos Blunt, Noah Carter, Ades Hambasic. They've been playing majority of the snaps of late. Just great job. Very consistent. They play with the right level of intensity, and very, very pleased with them.
Tonight against Roosevelt, what do you see as a key?
We got to be balanced. We got to come out and just get after it the way that we can, and just play our football game.
This is a team that, in Roosevelt, that has struggled to put some wins together. Couple that with the urgency, it's a tough balance you're doing this week.
You know what? One thing about Roosevelt kids, they play hard. They take pride in who they are, and we know they'll come out ready to play, and so do we.
Things that stand out on tape about them to you?
Just, they play hard. There's been some games that maybe have gotten away from, but they don't quit. They tackle well. They do a lot of unique things offensively and defensively, and we just need to be who we are and play from quarter to quarter.
This is going to come out of left field, but it's me. The weather this fall has been incredible for practice. Is that because sometimes you get to this part of October and you got guys starting to focus? Oh, it's cold. You've had it's all football instruction for you this year.
It's been great, and you look at the next week, and you look at these 85-degree days in October. It's just nuts. But we'll take this. It's a lot funner to practice in 70, 80-degree weather than 20-degree weather.
And you get their focus better.
You do.
Yeah.
So yeah, one day at a time.
One day at a time. All right, that's Ryan Pezzetti, our co-head coach of the Centennial Jaguars. Our pregame show continues after this here on CISN.
And once again, we want to give a huge thank you to all the coaches who take time and sit and chat with us this week. Helps give us and you, the fans, a little bit more insight into what's going on before a big game on Friday night. We will step aside and be right back. You are watching the CISN Football Pregame Show.
Iowans are working hard, but high prices make it even harder to keep food on the table. Record numbers need help. Your neighbors, your friends, your community. Stopping hunger starts here.
Over 1,300 vehicles on WauKeeChevy.com. Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. If we don't have it, you can build it. Newly expanded service department means we're hiring. See the openings on WauKeeChevy.com. Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. WauKeeChevy.com.
Western lets your UTV power through the storm. The Impact V-Plow and Impact Straight Blade. With the features the pros demand. Custom tailored for your UTV. And to keep your work top-notch, rely on the Tornado UTV Hopper Spreader. Now that's a job well done. Western, more jobs done faster.
Visit Truck Equipment Inc. today at truckequipmentinc.com.
Getting your car serviced or repaired can be a pain. That's why Westside Auto Pros is committed to making it as painless as possible. If you wish, we'll come get your car at your home or office and return it when it's done. Or you can drop your car off here and we'll shuttle you to where you want to go. When we're finished with your car, we'll come pick you up and bring you back. If your car is going to be here for a few days, we offer low to no cost rentals.
So give us a call and say, I can't wait to have my car serviced at Westside Auto Pros.
Welcome back to the CISN Football Pregame Show. I am your host, Blake Walker. Let's take a look at what's on the docket tonight on the Central Iowa Sports Network. Number 4 Valley hosts number 3 Waterloo West. It is a battle of the top 5 teams in the RPI. The eye test says a little bit different, but Waterloo West is up for the challenge. Just one loss this year. Valley also just one loss this year. Should be an interesting game. See how Waterloo West can keep up because they cannot afford to lose very much in the RPI. Valley has a hunt for the first seed. Another huge game, probably the biggest game of the night, honestly. Waukee goes on the road to take on Southeast Polk. Waukee is currently ranked 13th in the RPI. that feels not safe, but at the same time it is kind of safe. Really, this is the game for Southeast Polk. This is a must-win game for the Rams if they want to stay alive in postseason competition. Waukee maybe can afford a loss, but you know Coach Baker and his squad will not be wanting to lose on the road tonight. This is a crucial game that will have playoff consequences. And then finally, number 14th ranked Ankeny Centennial is at home, hosting the Des Moines Roosevelt Rough Riders. Has not quite been the season that Des Moines Roosevelt has been looking for, but Centennial will look to get back on track after the loss to Dowling Catholic last week. And another game to keep an eye out on here in the Metro, or two games I should say. Number 2 Liberty hosts number 12 Ankeny. The Hawks go on the road to take on the Lightning. Liberty looking good at the 2 spot, but this Ankeny team is starting to pick up steam here as the season rolls on. They're looking for a huge RPI win that would help their playoff chances on the road in Iowa City tonight. And number 6, Ottumwa host Northwest. Waukee Northwest is 2-4. Ottumwa still has not lost, but do not count out the Wolves. They'll be looking to take down a number 6 team in the RPI and help boost their chances at making a late postseason push. Well, that will wrap it up for us tonight here on the CISN Football Pregame Show. I've been your host, Blake Walker. I hope you enjoy the games tonight. We'll see you next week. Thanks for watching. Have a good evening.
The Iowa High School Athletic Association football season, week number 7, is on the air here tonight from Ankeny Stadium. It is the 1-5 Des Moines Roosevelt Rough Riders and the 4-2 Ankeny Centennial Jaguars doing battle tonight in this matchup here along CISN's coverage all across the world here. Glad to have you here. I'm Paul Yeager along Tim Halbert. John Schaefer will be with us in just a moment. Tonight, Tim, just looking at the records is one thing. You got a big hill to climb if you're Roosevelt. How are they going to do it?
They have to get the offense to find some rhythm tonight because they've kind of had a lot of 3s and outs, and there's a very good defense. They got to find some continuity out there, and they're also starting their second-string quarterback tonight because their starter is out with an ankle injury. And
so injuries are tough this time of year. You find out who has an extra player, and if you're Centennial, who has an extra rep in them. Triple overtime loss last week against Dowling. An exciting finish if you're on the Dowling sideline. I asked Coach Pezzetti, how did you practice on Monday? And he said, we just got after it. Every game matters when you get to week 7, Tim. So, if you're Centennial, how do you focus tonight?
I think they had a good week of practice. They'll go back to what they've done well. The strength of the offensive line, do what they do best. They run the ball very well. I think they're going to go back to that. They got a team. They have the size advantage tonight, so I think they're going to look at running the ball and establish that time possession and maybe put this game away early.
One thing that they rely on is defense. Let's start focusing on Reed Anderson. He wears number 8, but the big number for Reed, 42 tackles on the season. Tim, Reed is an impressive player. We say his name a lot. He's central to this defense. What does he do well?
Well, central is a good way to put it because he plays sideline to sideline. He has really great closing speed for a linebacker. He's got a sack in there. He also has an interception on the season. He really directs that defense, keeps them going, brings a lot of fire, keeps the linebackers in line. So he's a great athlete in the middle. Like I said, he plays 50 yards wide.
As the Jaguars enter the field now, we talk a little bit more about the team that's going to wear all black tonight. The Jaguars 4-2 on the season. Couple of losses. The big one last week, see how they focus. But let's talk about Roosevelt now. 1-5. Tonight is the return of the Fulton. Eddie Fulton back in the lineup. 38 carries, 611 yards. Coach is pretty excited to have him back.
Yeah, he is. He's their bell cow. He's got 611 of their 790 yards rushing this year. He's got 3 touchdowns. So he's the one they rely on, especially when you're bringing in your other quarterback in there. They need him for the rushing, and he also has about 6 pass receptions for the year. So he's their all-purpose back.
Our third member of our broadcast is John Schaefer. Let's take a look at the weather. John, to get you ready, it is 83 degrees. Wind is out of the south-southwest at 7 miles an hour. We're going to cool off all the way down to 72, John. What's it like down there on the field tonight?
Hey, Paul. First off, I think your latest weather report's wrong. That wind has since shifted straight out of the north. Yes, the north cold front has moved in. It's going to cool things off for us. But I don't want to correct Paul Yeager. That's not why I'm here. Let's talk a little football really quick. Big matchup tonight, talking with Coach Pezzetti. Said turnovers got the best of them against Dowling last week. Got to fix those tonight because regardless of records, Centennial needs to take care of business. On the other side, Ernst Brunn in year one is just trying to set a standard, establish a culture. He's brought in some former Iowa State players with him as well, and Brian Peavy and Braxton Lewis, both on his staff. But again, trying to build numbers up, reestablish Roosevelt as that Des Moines power it once was back when I was roaming the halls of TRHS.
I was going to make sure we have full disclosure. We have a Roosevelt alum on the sideline with us tonight. And, here's the thing, Tim. Thank you very much, John. We'll talk to you throughout the game. Tim, this is a game tonight for Centennial. They are looking at playoff seeding, positioning, and forward momentum. Roosevelt, as John just said, trying to get things together, put some consistency together. This is an important match for both of them for different reasons.
Absolutely. I think Centennial comes in lower half of the RPI. Everybody's looking at the first RPI came out Monday. They come in anywhere around 12 to 14 looking at there. But a win, they're 4-2 right now. A win tonight kind of moves them up the ladder. There's going to be some movement to get. It's moving Saturday once again, as we call it, in the RPI. There's 3 weeks left. A lot of things can happen between these 3-3, 4-2 teams. So they're looking at getting a win, notching themselves up, and getting a good first round bye.
I can smell the weather report now that John has said the wind has changed, so has the smells. Welcome to Iowa here, as we're closer to the north side where more farm fields are at. All right, Roosevelt will receive as Ankeny Centennial wins the toss and defers. The Jaguars tonight in their all-black uniforms, trimmed in white with white numbers. They've got the bowling ball black helmets with the silver stripe down the middle and the Jaguar logo on either side. For Roosevelt, they go with the all-white uniforms, trimmed in Roosevelt blue with white helmets and blue face masks. Ernest Brunn in his first season, Ryan Pezzetti, the co-head coach, along with his dad, Jerry. And we are just moments away now from kickoff in this game. We have a lot of good games. Take a look at their comparisons. Points, Centennial averaging 35 points a game, Roosevelt 20. The yards is a big factor, 290 to 189 total. Points per game allowed, Roosevelt they're letting up 38 points a game, Centennial 18. Turnovers, Tim? Roosevelt doesn't turn the ball over much, so that's an area where Centennial is going to have to play defense a little harder than allowing for some turnover.
If we're running a spread offense, they tend to go out with double wides, trips and that, and they have 5 touchdown passes and no interceptions. That they do take care of the ball.
Ryan Bendezou gets his leg into it, and it's taken back at the 3-yard line by Tyjon Bradford, and Bradford's running for his life around the left side. He goes all the way from the right side to the left side of Roosevelt's field, and he's knocked out of bounds on coverage. On the tackle for Jeremiah Roberson on the stop for Centennial. So we will see this offense tonight. Ty Scott getting the start at quarterback as Jonah Calderon is out with an injury, not dressed tonight. Coach talked to you earlier today, Tim, and said that was going to be a game decision. I think the decision's been made.
Yeah, he said, don't be – Ty Scott's not a little guy. He's only a 5'10", 165, but he's a lot stronger than people give him credit for.
In motion right away. They're going to reverse out and throw the football. Pass is complete, and it is caught. That's Alex Pontude. Makes the grab, and that is enough for a first down for Roosevelt on their first throw.
Yeah, Pontude comes in with 5 receptions for 99 yards and a touchdown, so he's a senior receiver out there. And nice job, nice roll there by Ty Scott. Give himself some little bit of breathing room to get the pass off.
Del Wesack, the tackle for the Jaguars. 1st and 10 from the 21-yard line. In motion, and now it's the handoff left side, and that goes nowhere. Quickly thrown down is big number 90. Cade Muring makes the stop for Centennial.
Yeah, Caden Thomas, the ball carrier there, had been filling in a lot for Eddie Fulton.
Loss on the play of 3, 2nd and 13, back to the 18-yard line. No score early on. Roosevelt sends 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. They go again on the run to the left side and then stood up. Was Eddie Fulton on that play.
Eddie Fulton on the carry for the Rough Riders.
Fulton on the season, as we mentioned in the open, 7 touchdowns, 38 carries on that RPO, and had some good yardage, but, man, just met a brick wall in a hurry.
Yeah, Coach, talk about that front four. Centennial comes out with a true 4-3 defense. You know, their defensive ends are very active out there. We see that, you know, Cade Muring's in there at the left end.
Scott to pass. 3-step drop, throws, and it's intercepted by the Jaguars on the far sideline. Diving for the end zone is Cale Woods, and he's in there. That's a pick 6 turnover for the Jaguars.
His second interception on the season. He read the route there, jumped it, pass out to the flat. You got to get those out there. He went there, pick 6, took it in for the touchdown. So nice read by Cale Woods.
There were 2 Jaguars. That was thrown in a double coverage and a big dive there. And actually, Curvey was the one holding it up. So that might have been Curvey, but I thought it was Woods the whole time. Bendezu on to attempt the extra point. Kick is good. Jaguars 7, Roosevelt nothing. You're watching high school football on CISN.
Save big at DeYarman CDJR Ames. Receive 2.9% for 84 months on the new Dodge Hornet RT, Grand Cherokee 4xE, and Jeep Wrangler 4xE. New Ram 1500 4x4s at one low price of $35,990. New Ram HD Crew Cab 4x4 starting at $47,990. That's over $13,000 off, plus up to $10,000 off MSRP on new 2024 Grand Cherokees at the all-new DeYarman CDJR Ames. DeYarmanAmes.com.
Metro Heating and Cooling is celebrating 40 years of keeping Des Moines comfortable. To celebrate, this October we're offering $40 off one of our seasonal maintenance plans or $40 off any repair. Get your home ready for the colder months with expert care and big savings. Whether it's a quick tune-up or a much-needed fix, we've got you covered. So call Metro Heating and Cooling today to celebrate 40 years with $40 off this October. Trust the team that's been keeping you warm since 1984.
Centennial to kick. We're going to watch that replay again. Jeff Martins was on it. It was intercepted by Woods, fumbles it at the 1, picked up by Malachi Curvey, who scores the touchdown. We'll see the replay here in a minute after Bendezu gets ready to kick it off. As back deep is Fulton and Pontude is going to let it go out of bounds, which means it's a penalty up to the 35-yard line. Let's go down to John Schaefer on that. John?
Yeah, you have it right, Paul. I'm pretty sure Cale Woods had the pick 6, or looked to have the pick 6, reaches for the end zone line, and sure enough, that ball popped loose. Malachi pops onto it, and Curvey, I'll credit him with the defensive touchdown. We'll see how they put it into go bound, but hey, he's got a KU scout here as well tonight, so might as well credit it for him.
That's right. He's headed to Kansas, and the replay was playing right as you were talking, John, and you could see the ball in that good camera work. It bounced up much more to him than what we could see. So
otherwise,
anyway,
you couldn't advance a muff, which it could have been down at the 1, so lucky bounce.
Roosevelt goes to work now. Ball at the 35-yard line after the penalty. Back to work is Scott. He's going to hand it off to Fulton, who goes off the left side, spins his way through, and then he stood up just before the 40-yard line. Fulton was a guy who hadn't played in a couple of weeks, Tim. He's somebody that Roosevelt really likes to have in that mix. I mean, what's it mean to have one of your big guys come back?
Well, he's got 38 carries for the area. The coach said he also gives the offensive line a lot of confidence, because right there, a lot of that was, that hard driving. He picked up a couple yards in his own, so now they picked up 4 yards there. So the offensive line likes a running back that runs north and south. That's what he does.
There's a look at Scott and Fulton in the backfield. Before the snap, we have a whistle. Looks like we had false start.
But had 2 players moving at the same time because they were bringing a player across the formation in motion.
Back 5 yards. It'll be 2nd and 11 from the 34-yard line.
Backs him up 5. It'll be 2nd and 11. Reverse out for Scott. Flush, throws across his body. It's caught by his backfield mate, Carter Holman. The senior fullback picks up his second catch of the season.
Tackle was made by number 8, Reed Anderson.
Reed Anderson there on the tackle.
As we actually talked to him earlier. Carter Holman, you'll see him play some defense. We'll see him line up. He's sometimes their tight end. He'll go out there. He's a 5'10", 200-pound senior out there. So good hands. Picked up a few more yards, bring him a 3rd and manageable for Roosevelt.
3rd and 3 from the 42-yard line. Now in the backfield with Scott is Fulton. No, that's a different back. Here comes some heat. Scott's going to step away from 1, 2, and then go down. He was initially hit.
Look like Cade
by Murin
came in there. Defensive line. He's playing some more end here tonight, so he came in there.
QB sack brought to you by Weichert Realtors, the 515.
Give him credit for the sack.
Their support of Ankeny Centennial football. Thank you, Weichert Realtors.
In the backfield that time, Caden Thomas, who's also been getting a lot of time in the backfield this season for the Rough Riders. On to punt on 4th down. Short kick. Coming up and fielding it is Del Wesak at the 38. He's pushed out of bounds at the 49. So a return of almost 6 yards on that play.
Rami Samir, sophomore linebacker, got on the tackle.
Rami Sumir.
The punt by Arnold keeps the ball, so this will be the first time we see the Centennial offense go to work. It was the defense that scored earlier in this game. 7-0 Jaguars. 7:10 to play here. First offensive possession coming for Centennial. Kluver with his workhorse, Braden Jackson in the backfield. With plenty of time. Now it's caught, far side, by Jeremiah Bassett, and he's going to get back to the line of scrimmage and not much more. Thought we'd see more Brule, but we're also seeing Bassett in the lineup tonight.
Yeah, Coach talked about both of those are playing well, because you see a lot of times Isaac Brule playing defense in the secondary, so a lot of these guys are playing 2 ways, but they're playing good backup positions. So good first touch there. A lot of time there in the backfield for Kluver.
Brule now goes to the far side as he is in, and Bassett is out. Jackson out of the left side of Kluver. Brule goes in motion, and before the snap, we have a whistle. Penalty flag on the far side of the field.
I think someone might have taken off just a hair too soon on the offense. Or defense.
Defense encroachment against Roosevelt. That's also a thing. Watching this Centennial offense, Tim, is that motion kind of looks like a hard start.
It does, and it's hard in practice. Your scout team can run it all they want, but they don't do it at full speed. And when you see it at full speed, it's hard to replicate, and you're amped up a little bit, and you see that motion come across, and you want to get across the line, and you get the 5 yards.
2nd and 4 from the 45. Approaching 6 minutes to play here, first quarter. Braden Jackson, first handoff of the game's off the right side. He has the first down. He's down near the 35. Inside to about the 33 before he's pushed out of bounds. Let's see. That was Tyjon Bradford.
Number 42, Mohamed Gumu.
And also Mohamed Guma also in there on the tackle.
First and 10.
Yeah, I saw blocking on the right side of the line there, springing Jackson. He does a nice job of when he sees the hole that he has that hard cut up field and picks up his yards.
Kluver now all alone in the backfield. Quick throw out to his left side, caught. And still moving forward is Kane Brooks, the tight end. He gets down to about the 25-yard line before Richard Schmidt and also Tyjon Bradford again in there for the Roosevelt. Gain of 9.
24-yard line.
Only a few pass receptions for Kane Brooks this year. He's a lot of times in there for the blocking. Nice job there, doing a quick little out, picking up some valuable yards, getting to a 2nd and 1.
Seemingly the playbook's open as Heather goes in motion. Now he gets set on the left side. Jackson to the right. It'll be Jackson. He'll go where those blockers are and keep moving and take the pile with him.
Carries by number 1, Braden
Yeah, blocking by
Jackson.
committee out there. Kane Brooks lined up as a tight end.
Number 38.
Sam Heather, who's about the same size, comes out there as a slot back, and then also good blocking by Isaac Brule. So those three receivers out there, lead blockers on that play. So everyone's in the blocking game.
Collins there on the block, and had some help getting there. Richard Schmidt also in on the tackle for Roosevelt. 1st and 10 from the 14. We're in the Metro Heating and Cooling red zone. Now Jackson right side gets a block from Brule, steps up, cuts back, 5, 3, 2, 1, cuts his way through the defense and into the end zone. Braden Jackson, 14 yards.
A nice kick-out block there. Isaac Brule there. A kick-out block. Jackson took it off his hip, took it in the end zone. Some moves by his part to get in the end zone for the touchdown. So well done by the offense. A good downfield blocking.
Watch Brule on that play, and the difference between good teams and great teams is your downfield blocking, isn't it, Tim?
It is.
Bendizu to attempt the extra point. Kick is up, and it is good. Centennial 14, Roosevelt 0. This is high school football on CISN.
Hi, this is Chris from Fireplace Superstore, and you and I both know that you've been wanting to convert your drafty old wood-burning fireplace into a high-efficient gas one. Well, this is the perfect time. Heating Glow is making it easier than ever. If you buy this year between September 15th and October 13th, Heating Glow is giving a free vent kit worth up to $650, making it easier than ever to convert that old wood burner. But the best deal in years won't last, so come on in today. Fireplace Superstore, just west of Homemakers at 109th and Douglas.
Getting your car serviced or repaired can be a pain. That's why Westside Auto Pros is committed to making it as painless as possible. If you wish, we'll come get your car at your home or office and return it when it's done. Or you can drop your car off here and we'll shuttle you to where you want to go. When we're finished with your car, we'll come pick you up and bring you back. If your car is going to be here for a few days, we offer low to no cost rentals.
So give us a call and say, I can't wait to have my car serviced at Westside Auto Pros.
Dough Company Pizza, Whiskey River, Olive Garden.
Centennial to
Arby's,
kick
Yellow
off, up
Creek,
14-0 here in the
Maid
first
Right, and
quarter.
Poncheros.
Nico Lockett and Thomas, Caden Thomas back deep for Roosevelt. Ryan Bendizu to tee it up at the 40. He just had the extra point. And as Tim said right as we were going to break, he has yet to miss an extra point this season. Kick is going to go short at the 6. It's going to be taken by Thomas. He'll get up to about the 20-yard line and no further. We go down to the field. We have a penalty flag. While they sort that out, we bring in John Schaefer.
Well, it's going to be a hold most likely there on Roosevelt for the penalty, but let's talk about that touchdown drive for the Jaguars. Really balanced attack to open this offense up for the Jaguars. Couple passes, 3 runs, and then obviously the punch in by Braden Jackson. And Jackson bouncing off tacklers, would-be tacklers left and right there on that final 14-yard run. Really impressed by that young running back or I shouldn't say young, he's a senior, but that senior running back for this Jaguars team, as they've already gotten themselves a nice cushion. Now it's stay on the gas and keep this Roosevelt team on their heels.
John, you saw Braden play a year ago here against East. Do you notice any difference in a year's time with him?
Yeah, I'd say he's gotten a little bit bigger in stature, those shoulders a little bit broader, and most importantly, the kid's just going to be a physical back. But who's shocked by that? Look at what his dad did.
His dad had an okay career.
Just a little bit there.
All right, John Schaefer tonight. That guy, hard working. We have to remind him he's talking football, not hockey, so we'll do our best to help him out. Handoff goes to Fulton, and Fulton moves for a moment back to the 10, no further. And met for the tackle is Jackson Reed. A couple things to wrap up here, Tim. Penalty was against Roosevelt for a hold, sends him backwards. But Fulton again getting the call. Fulton, do you shake and bake? You just put your head down and go. It doesn't look like Centennial's fooled by much tonight.
He got past the first would-be tackler, but Jackson Reed did a nice job coming up there, squaring off, not getting caught up by the hip fake and making a good open field tackle. So good coaching there, and good open field tackle.
Fulton in the backfield, and now he'll go up to the flanker position. Scott to pass, looks to his right, throws across the middle. It's tipped and dropped. Fulton was there. Guess who was on coverage for Centennial was Carlos Blunt. Can't believe we haven't mentioned Carlos Blunt yet tonight. Blunt on the season, 19 and a half tackles. The sophomore just gets better each week. Here's some pressure from up front, but he was all over Fulton on that replay.
Yeah, good read there. He knew where the receiver was going to sit down there in the middle of that zone defense. Got a hand in it, and so now brings up a 3rd and 10.
And this is a tough position for Roosevelt to be this far behind the chains. Looks certainly a passing, and they do. Quick bubble screen is caught, and it's going to be a first down. Going all the way forward is Ryan Malloy. Great pitch and catch up to the 30-yard line.
Tackle was made by number 20.
Yeah, Malloy, he's there, one of the top receivers, 4 receptions, 140 yards, and he's got 2 TDs on the season, so he does stretch it out. They do have some good skill position on the outside. That might be why the spread offense looks good. Hopefully that brings back their running game.
Hambasic makes the tackle for Centennial, but not after a gain of 20 on the play. Thank you, Jeff. 14-0, 2:30 to play. Rough Riders looking to get some forward movement. They go back to Fulton on the run, and he is just strike that, not Fulton. That's Caden Thomas. He's met at the line of scrimmage. Looks like that was Grider, or that was Muring there first.
And one thing Coach talks about that defensive line, they do a really good job. The ends do a good job of keeping everything contained in front. It's really hard to bounce outside these ends because they get upfield, they turn, and they keep everything in. They funnel it back into the linebacker. So great job by the ends here of the Centennial defense.
Loss of 1 on the play. 2nd and 11. Scott to throw, far sideline, caught, and still on his feet. Still going. This game. Looking for their first score. Throw to the back of the end zone. Man's there. Just overthrown. Incomplete. Falling. Intended for Rylan Malloy from Scott. Incomplete.
That's a lot of respect for that rushing defense of Centennial that they would go with the pass on the first play. Trying to find something there. See if they come back to it. They have a hard time getting to the outside. The wide side of the field here is to the right of the formation. See if they want to bounce something out, RPO at this point, or if they want to go back to the passing game.
2nd and 10 from the 10. And it's a handoff to Fulton, and he'll get a couple of tough yards before he's met by Curvey, Blunt, and also Luce.
Eddie Fulton on the carry.
Fulton, welcome back to football.
Tackled by number
you got to play Centennial.
Luce for the defense.
So see if they want to go to the end zone here. The kicking game has been
short gain of 2
a little sketchy, with the field goal. So they may be in 2-down territory here, or 4-down territory here inside the 10.
It's 3rd and goal from the 8. Two receivers left, one to the right in the formation. Actually, it's 3 out there to the left. Throw to the end zone. They had 1. Tipped away. Incomplete. Isaac Brule on coverage. The pass was intended.
Intended for Malloy, broken up by Brule.
Yeah, Brule did a nice job there. The pass.
4th down, 4th and goal.
If there was a little bit sooner, he was open briefly. It was a good pass out there. They had a look right on the goal line, but good defensive pass protection by Brule saves a touchdown.
Malloy, the intended receiver, and the Riders are going to try for some points. 6 of 11 PATs. This is the first field goal attempt for Roosevelt this season. The kick is up, and it is good. Colin Arnold puts 3 on the board. 14-3. Centennial leads. 21 seconds to go. Back in a moment from Ankeny Stadium.
A fuel choice that even rivals can agree on? Now that's worth the hype. Cheaper, cleaner, and homegrown. Pump it up with unleaded 88.
Western lets your UTV power through the storm. The Impact V Plow and Impact Straight Blade, with the features the pros demand, custom tailored for your UTV. And to keep your work top notch, rely on the Tornado UTV Hopper Spreader. Now that's a job well done. Western, more jobs done faster.
Visit Truck Equipment Inc. today at truckequipmentinc.com.
25-yard field goal gives the Riders their points. 14-3, 21 seconds left to go. 8 plays, 82 yards, 3:47 off the clock, Tim. Good drive for Roosevelt.
It's always a confidence build to your quarterback coming in, hitting a couple big passes.
And a different kicker than the field goal kicker. That's Abel Kennedy. And he kicks it into the end zone for a touchback. John Schaefer on the sidelines. Hey, John.
Hey, Paul. Yeah, absolutely. Nice job by Roosevelt to get some points on the board there. Obviously, the big 61-yarder by Pontude was the big play of that drive. Deep out, works well. I have to say, though, Tim, you've kind of hit on it. The running game not really doing much for Roosevelt other than keeping Centennial honest in coverage, but that is playing to Roosevelt's hand. Those quick out passes, they know there's a size mismatch up front in the trenches. If you look at it from field level, I don't think there's a single player as tall as Malachi Curvey on that line for Roosevelt, so you have to keep that in mind. That ball's got to come out of Ty Scott's hand very quickly.
We made it to week 7 with one of the best absolute lines of the year right there. Yeah. Handoff right away, Braden Jackson. He gets through the secondary and bursts it up all the way to the 37-yard line. Curvey is a special guy. When you see him on the field, Tim, I mean, that dude is built.
Yes. You know, he's going to get bigger. I mean, he really has to get in. He hasn't grown into his body yet, but he does have
steaks and potatoes and other protein in Kansas?
Yes, they do. Yes. Year-round.
Year-round. Do they give him to the basketball team, or that's going to be the end of the first quarter? Centennial 14, Roosevelt 3. We'll get into the farm programs of Kansas and Iowa when we come back. This is high school football on CISM.
Your wheel.
Free Godfather's Pizza begins with the download. Order through my new online ordering app and start earning free pizza and sides. It's easy. Download the Godfather's Pizza online ordering app today. Do it.
Ever have one of those awkward moments when a business disappointed you? You got ripped off? Didn't get what you expected? The Better Business Bureau can help you avoid these uncomfortable situations. BBB accredited businesses are honest, ethical, and reviewed annually by the BBB. Don't experience another awkward moment with a bad business. Trust the ones that operate with integrity. Look for the BBB seal. It's the sign of a better business. And find a better business anytime at bbb.org.
Over 1,300 vehicles on WaukeeChevy.com. Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. If we don't have it, you can build it. Newly expanded service department means we're hiring. See the openings on WaukeeChevy.com. Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. WaukeeChevy.com.
A fuel choice that even rivals can agree on? Now that's worth the hype. Cheaper, cleaner, and homegrown. Pump it up with unleaded 88.
Graham Steuderman.
Second quarter begins. Centennial 14, Roosevelt 3. Quick stats. Roosevelt 100 yards passing, 3 yards rushing, total 103. Centennial 10 passing, rushing 53, total of 63. 14-3 is our score. 2nd and 10 after the incomplete pass for Caleb Reed. Kluver under center. Toss sweep, Braden Jackson left side. Darts it to the numbers, gets to the sideline, and no further. Reed's block. He sent his blocker right into the play, and that was Joshua Hines.
Number 21, Bradford for the defense.
Other scores, Ankeny leads Liberty 7-0. Southeast Polk 7, Waukee 0. Johnston rolling, Council Bluffs Abe Lincoln 28-0. Dowling leads Urbandale 14-7. Here it's 14-3.
There's some good games in this slate tonight. A lot of teams, there's 3 weeks to go. they're going to move up and down that RPI ranking after, come out Monday.
Jackson underneath, breaks one tackle and is ripped down after the second effort. Looking at his big lineman,
Jackson again on the carry.
that was Max Dickinson. Kind of like, what happened? This is not where I took him. And that is enough for a first down.
And that moves the chains for Jaguar.
Yeah, the defensive line for Roosevelt, they're giving up. They're 235, 225, 210. Look at the offensive line for Centennial. You're looking at 255, 250, 240, 250. So they have the size advantage. And also when you throw in your tight end, Kane Brooks, that's a lot to handle.
Jackson and Heather on the near side of your screen here. Kluver by himself, quick throw out to Jackson, caught at the numbers. He's across midfield, brought down by a single arm, tried to stiff arm,
Pass from Kluver complete
but just
to
couldn't get rid of
Jackson
Richard Schmidt.
on the right field
Yeah, Schmidt did a
sideline.
nice job. A lot of times he plays linebacker. He tends to pull out. Instead of playing on the inside, he'll come out and follow the running back when they go play a wide out position. So he tends to play that rover position on that defense.
Gain of 5 on the play, ball at the Roosevelt 46-yard line.
You see Jackson at tailback. He's been a right wing. He's been a wideout.
Handoff, Brule on the sweep. Cuts it back in, now darts for the outside, and he's stopped at the line to gain.
Number 4, Isaac Brule on the
Up
carry.
there on the tackle is
Tackled by
Mohamed Guma.
Number 42, Mohamed Guma.
And we'll mention Guma a lot. He's their
4,
leading tackler, 33
and 1.
tackles on the year, 6 tackles for loss. So he's that object. He's 6 foot 225. Coach talked about he's one of the most athletic. He's their hammer, their stud in the middle, and he plays nose guard.
You like that nickname to be called the hammer of your team?
Yeah.
Love it. Jaguars have to get set. They had 2 guys moving at the same time. Heather and Jackson get that way. They go Heather underneath. Heather gets the yard that he needs and then stood up. And he won't get any further as 5 white jerseys surrounded him. He needed to get past the 40,
with the carry, moves the ball
just short of
to
the 40, and he
the
got
40-yard
to the
line.
40.
Picks up the first down for the Jaguars.
Heather on the season, 23 rushes, 129 yards, and 3 scores.
All the players looking at their play sheets that they carry with them, running backs and tight ends.
It's like looking at kids in their phones, right?
Yeah.
They're looking at their play sheets. Fake to throw to Heather after the fake to Jackson, and Heather's going to get a couple before he's wrapped down at the ankles by Harrison.
Tackle made.
Yeah, Quentin Harrison, the other senior linebacker,
Mohamed Guma.
second on the team in
Picks
tackles
up about 4 yards. It'll be 2nd and 6.
behind Guma.
Coming up at half, we're going to talk cross country for the Jaguars, both boys and girls, in 2 interviews. So if you know anybody with a little interest in cross country, really good night last night for the Jaguar girls and boys in Fort Dodge. Kluver throws on the out to Reed, caught, puts a move on, and then, whoa, he is popped. Wow, what a shot right there. Guma.
Number 42 came in there.
To Reed.
And that's coming from his nose guard position. And that was a quick pass to the out. He was over on that sideline and thought he'd say hello
First down for the Jaguars. It'll be 1st and
to
10.
Mr. Caleb Reed.
Jeez.
From the Roosevelt 33.
He was initially tied up there by Mateo Fanfil. Big thanks to the Roosevelt parent group for helping us on all these pronunciations. They had a sheet ready to go when I asked. Love that. I wish all schools were so well organized. So thank you so much. The parent groups all year have been great in all across of our games, trying to get the pronunciations right of these guys. Kluver with time, looks right, then throws left. Caught by the tight end, and that's going to be a score. Kane Brooks.
Chase Kluver complete to Kane Brooks. For the
Yeah,
Jaguars
TJ Bradford has
touchdown.
3 interceptions of the season. Just got there a second too late. Pinpoint pass there to Brooks in for the touchdown. So quick strike there
Thank you, Sage Holmes and Christy Lee.
by Centennial.
Ben DeZoo on to attempt the extra point. Tight end. You love a good tight end pass.
Yes.
Ben DeZoo's kick is good. 21-3 Jaguars here from Ankeny Stadium.
You want to get stronger, faster, healthier. You want more. You want to be part of something bigger than yourself. A place for people of all ages, all walks of life, that provides opportunities for all to succeed. We do that. We're the why. Build more than muscle. Build a stronger community.
Iowans are working hard, but high prices make it even harder to keep food on the table. Record numbers need help. Your neighbors, your friends, your community. Stopping hunger starts here.
Over 1,300 vehicles on WaukeeChevy.com. Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. If we don't have it, you can build it. Newly expanded service department means we're hiring. See the openings on WaukeeChevy.com. Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. WaukeeChevy.com.
Kane Brooks, one catch coming into the game tonight on the season for a touchdown. He now has 3 catches and 2 touchdowns. That's a good batting average.
This is coming out game?
Love
Talk to the coach.
The tight end. Bendizu's kick is going to go into the end zone. We're going to go down to the field. John Schaefer for this next update.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Paul. And I had a front row seat to that seam pass from Kluber down to Woods. It was a thing, or Brooks, I'm sorry. It was a thing of beauty. And Centennial now once again stepping on that throttle. This next drive, though, is a big one from my perspective. Centennial up 3 scores here. Roosevelt needs to answer back with a touchdown if they want any sniff of this going into halftime. Of course, they also don't want to go 3 and out here and give the ball back. So a critical drive for the Roosevelt Rough Riders and Centennial Jaguars.
Riders have 103 yards of offense, Centennial 126. Roosevelt boosted by a big catch from the quarterback, and let's see if they can go back and find something on the ground, and that has been tough sledding, and that's going to be maybe 2 at most. I got to make sure it was Fulton, and it was. Eddie Fulton, the senior, 165.59.
Short gain on the first down play brings up 2nd and 9.
You're seeing Brandon Boxeth in there, playing tackle position. He just kind of ran into a wall. That front 4 of Centennial is pretty stout to get good blocks on, because they shed their blocks quickly. They cover up those gaps.
Scott steps under the pressure, tucks it, and he is wham-bammed out of bounds by number 8, Reed Anderson.
I wonder if they talk about that at home with his dad, who's Coach Taylor. They talk about, they practice in the living room.
Number 8, Reed Anderson.
Tackling.
And he has sent Ty Scott down, and that might be an injury that Scott doesn't recover from here tonight. He is down. Reed just popped him on that one. We will take a moment and be right back. 21-3 Centennial.
Save big at DeArmond CDJR Ames. Receive 2.9% for 84 months on the new Dodge Hornet RT, Grand Cherokee 4xE, and Jeep Wrangler 4xE. New Ram 1500 4x4s at one low price of $35,990. New Ram HD Crew Cab 4x4 starting at $47,990. That's over $13,000 off. Plus up to $10,000 off MSRP on new 2024 Grand Cherokees at the all-new DeArmond CDJR Ames. DeArmondAmes.com.
Metro Heating and Cooling is celebrating 40 years of keeping Des Moines comfortable. To celebrate, this October we're offering $40 off one of our seasonal maintenance plans or $40 off any repair. Get your home ready for the colder months with expert care and big savings. Whether it's a quick tune-up or a much-needed fix, we've got you covered. So call Metro Heating and Cooling today to celebrate 40 years with $40 off this October. Trust the team that's been keeping you warm since 1984.
Ty Scott is helped from one side of his sideline to midfield to the bench, and what John Schaefer's telling us is it looks to be lower body, and as you see Scott getting assistance, he's not putting any weight on that left foot. So I think the quarterback is going to be, I think it's Eddie Fulton. John, I'm going to pull up your mic here if we can here for a moment after this play.
It's a wildcat.
And, right there to Thomas. John, what do you know from that injury? Could you see anything?
It's definitely a lower body injury. They're working on looks like his right leg over on the far sideline right now. Could be an ankle or could be a knee. He was writhing in good pain down there. Definitely wasn't an upper body side of things, although from the sounds of it, it was a big hit. Maybe borderline flag worthy, but we won't speculate. But it is Eddie Fulton in now at quarterback, at least in that wildcat formation. Of course, Roosevelt had him to punt it away at 4th and 11.
And Eddie Fulton, who just comes back from the injury, is now pressed into third-string quarterback as Jonah Calderon is out. Another punt again for Roosevelt. Bounces at the 40, taken by Isaac Brule. He daredevils it through, and then he is absolutely lassoed down by Quentin Harrison at the 40-yard line. And that'll be where the Jaguars start another possession. Up 21-3 here. 6:07 to play in the first half.
That's the one thing that the Roosevelt did not want to do is have a 3 and out there, and that not gaining much. So what you do is you take your starting tailback, move him to quarterback, and the backup tailback comes in. So, and they're spread offense, so we'll see how much that affects. They may want to go maybe more wildcat run offense and trying to get the ball, get the passing game going.
Lucky Gal Tattoo.
Jaguars with a short field at the Roosevelt 40. Heather and Braden Jackson go to the far side. Kluver's by himself with Bassett to his right as well as Reed. Quick throw to Reed, caught at the 40. Pushes his way forward in further down before he's brought down by Collins right in front of the Centennial bench. Same play they ran with Jackson earlier, but this time instead to Reed.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of interchangeable with the wideouts. You know, you might see Jackson out there, you see Caleb Reed out there, you may see Brule out there. So they spread them out. So if you're looking at, if you're man-to-man, it really does confuse the defense. So it's better if the defense stays more of a zone and take the player in front of you.
Christensen also in on that stop for the Riders. 1st and 10 from the 26. Bassett gets the call left side, sweeps it over, cuts it back in, now steps back out at the hash. Not much further.
Number 24, Jeremiah Bassett on the carry.
And let's say that was Guma in there.
Number 77, Deacon Vasey.
And Vasey also in there for Roosevelt.
See like good downfield blocking. Jurvich down there, Deacon Cahey.
Jackson's with Kluver in the backfield. Now they interchange and send Heather to the back. Kluver goes under center. They go the dive with Heather. Or no, they went. I fell for Heather taking it.
Yep. His good fake there. Try to make Jackson on the end around, but good defense there. Both by Augustine Christensen, the outside linebacker, Quentin Harrison, the two linebackers,
down 5 yards to go from the 21
maintaining their position, the gap integrity, and making the tackle.
I love a little
trickeration.
Yes, a good trickeration and misdirection. Kluver by himself throws quickly, tipped and incomplete. I think Quentin got a hand on it. He's the one getting high fives. Quentin Harrison, the senior at 5'11", used it all there on that block of that pass. 4th down and 5 now for the Jaguars. From the 21, they send on Ryan Bendezu to attempt the field goal. Yeah, that was intended for the tight end. Not sure if Brooks was going to be able to keep his streak alive. I'm sorry, it's every other catch is a touchdown. Sorry.
One thing that's not mentioned enough is that Bendezu really has brought quality kicking to this offense. That's going to play well as you go down the stretch here and get into the playoffs, having solid field goal and extra point kicking.
38-yard field goal attempt is down, up, and good. So the Jaguars counter the 3 from Roosevelt, and it's a 21-point lead here from Ankeny Stadium.
Hi, this is Chris from Fireplace Superstore, and you and I both know that you've been wanting to convert your drafty old wood-burning fireplace into a high-efficient gas one. Well, this is the perfect time. Heating Glow is making it easier than ever. If you buy this year between September 15th and October 13th, Heating Glow is giving a free vent kit worth up to $650, making it easier than ever to convert that old wood burner. But the best deal in years won't last, so come on in today. Fireplace Superstore, just west of Homemakers at 109th and Douglas.
Getting your car serviced or repaired can be a pain. That's why Westside Auto Pros is committed to making it as painless as possible. If you wish, we'll come get your car at your home or office and return it when it's done. Or you can drop your car off here and we'll shuttle you to where you want to go. When we're finished with your car, we'll come pick you up and bring you back. If your car is going to be here for a few days, we offer low to no cost rentals.
So give us a call and say, I can't wait to have my car serviced at Westside Auto Pros.
Bendazoo, 38-yard field goal, gives the Jaguars a 24-3 lead. He kicks it off, and that's higher than the other ones have been. Let's go down low to our main man, John.
Hey,
whatever. I got to come up with some better nickname for you, John.
Thanks, Paul. I think we can just stick with no nicknames for now, but hey, I'm good with it. Ty Scott definitely out for the rest of this game tonight. He is on the sidelines, leg up, and that's a tough sight to see for a senior quarterback, especially guy that's getting a good opportunity tonight, stepping in for another injury at quarterback. Nice job by Roosevelt to answer on the defensive side. Centennial now, though, another chance to get that ball back before half. Excuse me, that lead now 21. And I think if you're the Jags, you kind of know that where this one's sitting. Now just get into halftime healthy.
Eddie Fulton to play quarterback again, and he'll keep it around the right side. And he is hit at the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard in and no more. Muring there, also big number 8, Reed Anderson.
Until we see Eddie Fulton throw the ball, it's going to be hard. But that defense is going to focus on him. We're going to see the ends, linebackers coming up here on the line. So, but as they suck that defense in, as they think he's always going to run, that can make guys can break free. To be wide open.
And there's been times Centennial tonight has been over pursuing just a tiny little bit on some plays, and so this might be a good opportunity. Let's see. As he sends his man in motion. And it's going to be a run around the left side, and it's a good stiff arm and a move, and again, right in front. Nice spin move right in front of the Jaguar bench before. I think that's
Fulton again on the carry off the left-hand side.
And that was Blunt that pushed him out. As we get a look again here.
First down will be
you can see why Eddie has 611 yards rushing coming into this game, and that's missing a few games. He's got some good moves, good spin move, knows how to use the straight arm, so he's a force there at running back.
We talked about Eddie in our open. Didn't know he was going to be this big of a feature of the game.
Neither did he.
Yeah.
But he runs to the sideline, picks up the play from the coach, and comes back to the huddle.
Ankeny now has put another touchdown on the board against Liberty, 14-7 before the play. Play clock was at 0. Did Roosevelt get a timeout? They did.
Timeout. White.
Timeout on the field. Timeout on CISN as well.
A fuel choice that even rivals can agree on? Now that's worth the hype. Cheaper, cleaner, and homegrown. Pump it up with unleaded 88.
Western lets your UTV power through the storm. The Impact V Plow and Impact Straight Blade. With the features the pros demand. Custom tailored for your UTV. And to keep your work top-notch, rely on the Tornado UTV Hopper Spreader. Now that's a job well done. Western, more jobs done faster.
Visit Truck Equipment Inc. today at truckequipmentinc.com.
Out of the timeout, Eddie Fulton will survey and take over this offense. Fumbles the snap, sets off the timing, doesn't change the result of the play. Blunt makes the tackle. after losing a yard on that play. It'll be third down. Clock now moving under 3 minutes to play here before half.
Cade Muring is in the backfield, almost had him there for about a 4 or 5 yard loss. Surprisingly, Eddie only got a 1 yard gain out of that after a fumbled snap.
In the backfield with him is Holman. And they give it to Holman. He goes off the left side, stiff arms a man, and then he's taken out at the knees. Timeout here coming as making that stop is Prince DeWay.
Holman on the carry for the offense, tackled by number 26.
All right, let's look at some scores because, Tim, you were curious. You've been trying to follow along tonight. Here it's 24-3 Centennial. Ankeny leads Liberty 14-7. Southeast Polk 14, Waukee 0. Johnston rolling another 4-2 team, and Council Bluffs Abe Lincoln 42-0. Dowling now up 28-7. That's just changed since the last time out. Waukee Northwest leads 6-0. Ottumwa 9-0. Marshalltown is leading Ames 13-7.
Centennial, their first of the half.
Hempstead leads Kennedy 7-0. Cedar Falls in front of Dubuque Senior 21-0. Still trying to track down that Bettendorf and Davenport Central score. And the other game of interest from that eastern side of the state is Muscatine and Pleasant Valley. Shouldn't be much of a contest as PV just gets better and better every week. And that's kind of your dark horse there on the eastern half of the state. I shouldn't say dark horse. I mean, they're a really good team. It's going to be the two teams from Scott County that are east of Davenport. Rolling out is Fulton. Looks to throw. Now he cuts it up to run, and then he is taken out high and low. Greider was the guy who finished him off.
Tackle made by number 9,
Anderson was there first.
No gain on the play. That'll bring
up Bassett was in there as well.
So
on the tackle.
The whistle, you could hear the whistle because Centennial has taken timeouts on the last two stops here. They are trying to add to this 24-3 lead with 2:18.
Seeing some of the people warming up, Brecken Miller warming up on the sideline. We'll see if there's going to if they'll stay with him or he's just kind of starting his warm up, hopefully to see some action in the second half. Now's a good time to not replace everyone, do a full line out. John will appreciate that phrase. But intersperse, some backups with some of the starters and give them real game experience, the timing and the speed of the game. This is a good chance to, really build your depth.
Let's bring John in. John, when he uses a hockey term, do you get excited? Because it's early in the hockey season, right?
So. I mean, anytime we get hockey incorporated into a football night, I'm going to be a happy guy, especially with busy weekend. I'm not going to dive into the extra side businesses, though, tonight, Paul. We got some good football down here. I think at this point, second half, you're not able to move the ball well. If you're Roosevelt, if you're Centennial, you look at it and say, let's get some experience going into this lineup again, because you got to keep building for next year, and experience is everything.
Into punt, Cullen Arnold. Again, another punt for Roosevelt, and this one a low liner. Oh, trying to take it on the run and getting no chance to return it was Del Wiesack. He called late for the fair catch, ran right into the Roosevelt player who didn't move. It just happened to be the ball was short. It kind of stopped, but it doesn't matter. You got to still give him space. There's the penalty.
Got to give them the 1 yard cushion there, but they kind of met there right on the stripe. And kind of excuse me foul. They're discussing it if it is a foul. I mean, they're having a long discussion there over the ball.
Well, Roosevelt coaching staff is out. Ernest Brudd is out there a little bit, kind of saying the same thing. They're talking long enough. They might just – let's watch it. Oh, okay, he lowered his shoulder. Now, if you could see that, it wasn't just that he was in the way. He did lower his shoulder. Wiesack, not much of a chance there. I think that was Quentin.
No flag on the play.
They picking the flag up, Quentin Harrison. Not a valid fair catch signal, right? Is that what he just said?
Well, in Iowa, we know about fair catch signals. And those that aren't.
Came up the other night. Again, Justin's going to give us one more look at this.
So the penalty is waved off. Jaguars will take over first and 10.
It was going more lateral instead of downfield, so.
Yeah, that's no time to react. So, all right, 45-yard line is where the Jaguar drive starts. Kluver with time, steps under pressure, gets a throw downfield. He's got Reed caught at the 24-yard line, brought down right there. Richard Schmidt. Reed adds to his 24 catches on the season, 4 touchdowns. He's averaging 16 yards a catch. He just did a little bit better than his average on that play. Pickup of 34 yards, and the Jaguars go tempo as they enter the Metro Heating and Cooling red zone. Kluver with time, all sorts of it. Now flushed, runs, throws it off his back foot for the end zone. It's caught. And in there is Braden Jackson.
Yeah, Guma almost had put a hit on Chase Kluver. Kluver threw it down the center. Jackson found a way to get open right there on the goal line. Cradled it in for the touchdown.
Appreciate their support of Ankeny Centennial football. Thank you, Sage Holmes and Christy Lee.
So that's the second touchdown of the half for Braden Jackson. He has a 14-yard rushing. Now he has a 21-yard receiving touchdown.
He's only coming with 7 receptions on the year.
And no touchdowns.
No touchdowns, so he's added to that stat line.
Bendazoo again with 1:35 to play. 31-3 is your score from Ankeny Stadium.
And a PAT attempt.
A fuel choice that even rivals can agree on? Now that's worth the hype. Cheaper, cleaner, and homegrown. Pump it up with unleaded 88.
Western lets your UTV power through the storm. The Impact V Plow and Impact Straight Blade, with the features the pros demand. Custom tailored for your UTV. And to keep your work top-notch, rely on the Tornado UTV Hopper Spreader. Now that's a job well done. Western, more jobs done faster.
Visit Truck Equipment Inc. today at truckequipmentinc.com.
Jaguars score again on a short drive. They lead 31-3 here from Ankeny Stadium tonight in Iowa high school football. Week 7 action. Centennial now 201 yards of offense, 123 passing, rushing 78. Braden Jackson 7 carries, 64 yards, 2 catches, 25 yards. And this kick from Bendazoo is out of the end zone for a touchback. Down on the sideline is John Schaefer. Hey, John.
Hey, Paul. Well, I can tell you this much. You know a game's getting out of hand when you're putting on your interior designer hat during breaks. So I wish we could have the mic up at least in the breaks so everyone could hear this. But what a pass by Chase Kluver, doing his best Brock Purdy impression, falling away, getting hit, chucks it up, and guess who? Braden Jackson, Johnny on the spot. 21-yard touchdown, 28-point lead for Centennial. And, hey, they could maybe get the ball back here again. Roosevelt's got to find a way to move the ball because it's not going to happen on the ground tonight.
Fulton, here comes some heat, and as he throws, coming through is Curvey, and he just blitzed.
Incomplete. Bring the pressure for the Jaguars. Number 0.
Blitzed the quarterback, Eddie Fulton.
That'll bring up second down, second and 10.
Yes, John, I am an interior designer by trade. If we only had the mics up, we wouldn't be working anymore. Okay, I wouldn't be working anymore. Incomplete, second and 10 now. Roosevelt with 1:30.
Hard for Eddie. I'm sure he doesn't take many quarterback snaps during the week, so I think it's hard to get that timing of getting your feet set and finding someone downfield.
And it was an absolute blitz by Curvey. They fake it and then going backwards and then somehow escaping once but not twice. Coming up there first was Jackson Reed. And he goes out of bounds. And the thing for Roosevelt is that stops the clock again.
Right.
Just like the incomplete pass did, and now he goes out of bounds on that play.
I think Fulton just trying to find survival there to go from near the backfield to only losing 1 yard there, but he got knocked out of bounds. Look for them to keep it on the ground here. Centennial does have 1 timeout left.
They haven't had to use it on these 2 play stoppage. Riders are going to have to hurry. Play clock's at 10.
They still have 2 timeouts in their pocket.
And quick check of the board. Goes Fulton. Eddie Now to run it, and he spins out of one tackle and goes out of bounds. There is a penalty flag on the far sideline.
I think Malloy here, he was running wide out. I think he wasn't fully set at the snap.
By the Jaguar defense.
So if you're Centennial, do you decline it?
I would decline it because it'd be 4th and 5, and the clock is stopped.
Penalty on the play.
Looking over at Coach Pezzetti, he declines the penalty.
So that'll make it 4th down. And Roosevelt, are they going to punt?
Shift, 2 men in motion.
Illegal shift. Good call, Tim.
The ball is in bounds. We'll wind it on my whistle.
So the clock will wind. We'll see if they can take some time off here because it'll start on the wind.
And now
Centennial does take her timeout.
We're stopping the clock here. Yeah, I'm not sure Roosevelt realized they were going to decline it because now the punt team comes on.
But I think he said that the clock will start on his wind, so they have the full 25 seconds unless Centennial wants to call a timeout. They can run this down to about 50 seconds.
Now Centennial takes a timeout, and so will we at 1:14.
You want to get stronger, faster, healthier. You want more. You want to be part of something bigger than yourself. A place for people of all ages, all walks of life, that provides opportunities for all to succeed. We do that. We're the why. Build more than muscle. Build a stronger community.
Iowans are working hard, but high prices make it even harder to keep food on the table. Record numbers need help. Your neighbors, your friends, your community. Stopping hunger starts here.
Over 1,300 vehicles on WaukeeChevy.com. Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. If we don't have it, you can build it. Newly expanded service department means we're hiring. See the openings on WaukeeChevy.com. Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. WaukeeChevy.com.
Punt is away. Fair catch called for and made by Isaac Brule at the 48-yard line.
Called for and made by
Jaguars will
Isaac
have it.
Brule.
No
Jaguars
timeouts in a minute 8.
1st and 10.
But a
The
short
Roosevelt
field.
48-yard line.
Up 31-3. They'd like to have the running clock in the second half. Liberty has now scored to tie it up at 14 with Ankeny. Waterloo West and Valley, that game was not slated to start till 7:30. Valley now leads 7-0, so they got a late start there. Southeast Polk leads Waukee 14-7. Dowling now starting to put some space between them and the Jayhawks of Urbandale. We'll see the Jayhawks in 2 weeks here. Dowling 35, Urbandale 7. 1st and 10 from the 48-yard line. Before the snap, a whistle and a penalty flag.
Saw the end move there for Rose. I don't know if he was encroached.
Black.
Yep. The lineman moved.
Lineman moved, so it'll be 5 yards back, and it'll be 1st and 15. No time went off the clock there.
That's what Damian Surratt said for Roosevelt. He goes, no, he moved first.
You always believe, right?
Yeah. There's always a lot of finger pointing out there when there's just the hint of a movement. But Kluver's been hot that last drive. He was 2 for 2 for a touchdown. See if he continues at a hot hand here with 107.
Ball at the 47 of Centennial. Before the snap again, penalty flag.
Red ball.
False start again.
Black.
One thing, Ryan Pezzetti likes to talk about, and he's done it here for the last couple of years, Tim, is he talks about efficiency. How he liked Trenton Smith. He was, how efficient he is. And he says the same thing about Kluver. He says Chase is so efficient, and it makes good throws. But here's the other thing is that Kluver is closing in on 1,000 yards passing coming into the game. 51 of 81 for 781. So good night passing can get him very, very close to that 1,000-yard threshold. See what Kluver does here on 1st and 20. First throw is caught by Brule. He is at the 45 and not much further than that.
Number 4, Isaac Brule.
A good open field tackle.
Number 38,
Collins and Schmidt on the stop for Roosevelt. Quick snap, 49 seconds to go here. Reed gets set. Kluver waits for that, then snaps the ball. Throw out. It's caught by the tight end. Or was that Heather? That might have been Heather. Sorry.
Heather, yep.
For gain.
Very, like you said, very efficient. He's taking what's open underneath, moving the ball up there.
Clock should have. Oh, it's third down. That's
Third
right.
down.
So then Kluver downs it.
So now it'll be fourth down, 4th and 8.
What? What did I miss? Why are you doing that?
You have no timeouts.
I think they thought they got the first down.
Yeah, I think they were way behind the chains because they were at a 1st and 10. They had a short pass, and then a spike. So those are 3 plays. So now it brings up 4th and a long 7 from the 45.
Jaguars need to get to the 38. Roosevelt has some pressure at the line. They got everybody coming. And Kluver steps away from it once, but he will not escape at all. Ball at midfield, and there's a little pep in your step for the Riders.
Yeah, they brought the all-out blitz. Who's at the bottom there? Mohamed Guma with this another sack on the season. But 19 seconds, you look for the big play here. Roosevelt's going to want to go. They got the ball. They have timeouts on their side, so they can try to get this ball down there, maybe get a defensive pass interference. We know that Centennial is going to go too deep safety here. They'll give him 10, 20 yards at a clip.
Brule and Wiesack back deep. Now we're going to maybe see if Eddie Fulton is going to throw the football here. Instead, he'll run it. Left side. Gets 1 block. Will not get 2, and that's going to be how the half ends.
Yeah. Great pursuit there on the outside. Blount down there, blowing it up. Not getting fooled by this, power sweep to the left.
As John tries to track down Ryan Pezzetti when he's still there on the field. He'll get off the field and let the band make their way on. Coming up at halftime, we're going to talk cross country with the boys and girls coaches. Chad Fickbaum and Eric Cogdill will be our guests. But first, we find out a little bit more of what the co-head coach Ryan Pezzetti is thinking as the Jaguars make their way off the field. Let's go down to John Schaefer for this report. John?
Thanks, Paul. Coach Pezzetti, what did you see out of your team there in the first half?
I responded. You know what? We played well at times. At the end, that was
Ankeny fans, please direct your attention to the video board.
We need to come out and put something together and get some momentum going.
What's kind of the message to the team here at half?
Finish. You know what? That was our problem last week. We got to do it this week.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thanks.
All right, that's co-head coach Ryan Pezzetti with John Schaefer. Thank you, John. Halftime. Centennial 31, Roosevelt 3. We'll talk cross country. Fun interviews coming up here next. You're watching high school football and coverage of high school sports from the Central Iowa Sports Network.
DeArmond CDJR Knoxville with these outstanding offers. New Grand Cherokee 4xe Trailhawk with up to $13,000 off. New Dodge Hornet RT also up to $13,000 off. New Jeep Gladiator Sports receive 14% off MSRP. And new 2024 Ram 1500 Bighorns with over $10,000 off. And we want your trade. Receive $300 to $500 more or we will buy it from you. Incredible savings at DeArmond Automotive Knoxville.
Hi, I'm Chris from Fireplace Superstore. Outdoor furniture season is here and we've got you covered with the best selection in Central Iowa. We're featuring Poly Furniture by Berlin Gardens. Once you've seen the fit, finish, quality, and materials of Berlin Gardens Poly Furniture, it makes everything else look like it was built in somebody's backyard. We also have Iowa's best selection of aluminum, wicker, wrought iron, cushion, and sling. Fireplace Superstore, just west of Homemakers at 109th and Douglas.
it's hard to stop a train.
Getting your car serviced or repaired can be a pain. That's why Westside Auto Pros is committed to making it as painless as possible. If you wish, we'll come get your car at your home or office and return it when it's done. Or you can drop your car off here and we'll shuttle you to where you want to go. When we're finished with your car, we'll come pick you up and bring you back. If your car is going to be here for a few days, we offer low to no cost rentals.
So give us a call and say, I can't wait to have my car serviced at Westside Auto Pros.
We are at halftime here on CISN. We're joined by the Centennial cross-country coach for the boys, Chad Fickbaum. Coach, conference meet we know was last night, but let's just talk about your team. What has been enjoyable about this squad this year?
Oh, well, this year we're at about 50 kids, a little smaller. We lost kind of that 15 flat kid in AJ Schermerhorn, who was our leader for the last few years. So we really had to find our identity. So it's kind of been enjoyable to see through the winter training, summer, and then this fall how the guys have come into their own.
AJ was such a fun kid to watch. Yeah. But when you have a senior like that, you hope that he's kind of left a fingerprint and helped other kids along. Who has now picked up that mantle and tried to lead for you this year?
Well, certainly Jack Behrens, who's a junior, has. And we talked about it early on, doing it as a group. And it really has been a group effort. So that whole team aspect, we weren't relying on that one kid. It's been a team effort this year.
And is that better, or is that just a transitional thing until the next kid evolves? I mean, it's a tough position that you're in because things are always changing each year.
Yeah. It's better for this year. Because the guys have to find themselves, and they're not relying on somebody else to do things for them. And AJ didn't do it for him. But, he was the one they would go to for everything. So yeah, it's different.
You've been around long enough. It's important to see these guys. You want them to mature on their own. And cross country is, one of my favorite sports for development of a person. And I know you kind of feel the same way.
Absolutely. So to see the growth from that freshman year to senior year, and when the guys, this summer talking about being a leader, they're like, wait a minute, we're seniors, so we have to find our way to lead.
All right, let's start naming names. Who are some of these kids that have been in that pack of leadership?
Cohen Moll's out front. So he's a junior who's kind of came on last year, and now he's definitely one of our top kids. Well, he's the top kid all year for us. But Braden Vanderwilt, so the other seniors, Corbin Vanderwert, and Sean Thomas, those guys are the senior leaders, and then Davis Johnson and Jack Barron. So that's kind of the core. Ian Smith has come on at the end, and then Mark Nelson is also one of the senior leaders. So we've got a pretty tight group. This year we've gone with that 45-ish second spread, which we didn't have that last year with AJ way out front. So it's a little different identity as a team. Like that's our team.
Because you always have to talk about one more place, one more guy, because if it's 5 guys and they take off 5 places, that's 5 less points. That matters. I mean, and that's the difference a lot of times.
And absolutely this year we're seeing that, where if we can get that spread as tight as possible, we're a really solid team. If a couple of guys are off a little bit, that drops us back. And I think that's true across the conference and across the state, really.
Well, you have the defending champ a couple of miles to your south, and he was in a race that was the fastest in the state. So to have that around, to be in the middle of that bookend, that's got to be exciting, though, too, to watch how the sport elevates statewide.
Absolutely. To see that, we've got multiple guys under 15 now, and that 16 used to be that if we can get guys around that 16, 20, we're pretty solid, but you need the guys down in the 15-30s and that core guy, the group around that 15-30 and below to be competitive. And we see that in a lot of teams.
That just wears me out, thinking how fast they're moving, right? And just think how it's evolved in your coaching career.
Yes, yeah. And John and I, Lindemann, talked last weekend about that. We used to look at, if we have a few guys at that 17 flattish development, looking ahead, that's pretty solid, but we really need it below that to be competitive now. It's exciting for the sport, but,
It's also pretty tough. That means your finger on the stopwatch isn't run. You have less time to recover on the thumb. You talk about John on the south side. I know he has a youth program. You have a youth program. What has been important about the development, and has that changed for you here recently?
We've turned over some coaches at the youth program level and the 8th grade level, and we're starting to see that rebuilding. So the name Jim Rubidoux comes up.
Gosh,
Jim
yes.
Rubidoux, yeah.
Yes.
And you see that name. His son's running at Indianola now, so they moved back into the community, kind of the metro community. So we're starting to build our numbers back up. So we're going to reach down even lower this next year and in the spring to see if we can get the grade 5 through 7 more involved.
Because it's not like you can bring them on a Friday night to the stands to see the varsity. It's kind of say, I need you to come to Fort Dodge to a course at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. You good with that? It's harder. You have to do it different ways.
Right. And we have a lot of interest in the running. So I think the success that John's brought, and we've had success, not to the level they have. The kids are excited about getting involved in something, and like you said, developing those kids and their leadership, and just seeing how they grow. I think that's a pretty good attraction for the sport.
Well, let's make a final pitch then. To get guys interested in your program. There's ways to get a hold of you, of course, but tell somebody who might be in 5th grade, 4th grade, that why running for you is fun.
Hey, the guys talk about running's tough, and they're talking about how hard it is, but how rewarding it is to accomplish something with the guys. And we have Saturday morning runs with breakfast. That's probably the biggest deal right now.
Food always wins out.
Absolutely.
That's Chad Fickbaum, the head cross-country coach for Centennial for the boys. Our halftime show continues after this.
You want to get stronger, faster, healthier. You want more. You want to be part of something bigger than yourself. A place for people of all ages, all walks of life, that provides opportunities for all to succeed. We do that. We're the why. Build more than muscle. Build a stronger community.
October savings at DeArmond Chevy GMC Knoxville. New Silverado 1500 custom 4x4s with up to $8,000 off. New HDs with 5.9% for 84 months. 5 all-new 2025 Chevy Equinox in stock. Receive up to $8,000 off Sierra 1500 SLTs and $3,000 off new GMC Terrain. And we want your trade. Receive $300 to $500 more or we'll buy it from you. All at DeArmond Chevy GMC in Knoxville, Iowa.
We are at halftime. We're talking girls cross country now. Coach Eric Cogdill's here. Coach, run last night, and you just never know what you're going to get out of the kids. But this team this year seems to be performing very well every single night. Is that an accurate description?
That's a very accurate description. Yep. Up to Fort Dodge last night. As you said, you don't know for sure what's going to come out, and we came out just looking magnificent. From the outside looking in, we said this to the girls. We got second, and we were a good space ahead of third, closer to first than we were to third against 12 ranked teams. And on the inside, the girls are looking at it like, well, I could have done this better, and I could have done that better, and they were upset about their race. My 7th girl beat every team's 5th girl but Johnston's, and she was upset because she was 40th in the race instead of 25th.
We could do another 12 minutes just on you and Johnston, but we won't. I've watched you practice with the girls. I've watched you run courses with the girls before they've run the meet. What is it like to work with a group? And you know they're different every single year, but to figure out what buttons work, you think, on each girl.
Oh, it's such a joy to just kind of peel the layers of the onion back and just kind of find out, like you said, what works for this girl, what doesn't work. How can I adjust her training? How can we set up a race plan that ties to her strengths and covers up her weaknesses and those things? And so it came together very nicely last night.
Well, let's start naming names then.
Awesome.
Because it's always fun to hear who's doing well. I see names. Who's performing well for you right now?
Well, let's just run right through our varsity. They were fantastic. Annika Moorhauser was 2nd overall. She's a top 5 candidate in the state meet. Haley Veem was 7th overall last night. She's going to have a chance to be a medal winner as well in the top 15. And then we just kept right through. We were at 21 was Bella Hodges. She's a senior. She just committed to Illinois State. 23rd was Ellie Blevins. had her best race of the season, was fantastic. Then I get a little fuzzy. I think we had Julia Flick was our 5th runner, and I think she was about 27th. Trinity Klingensmith was about 32nd, and then Kylie Patterson was 40th. And Greta Dunn-Hartog ran varsity also, and she was 75th.
Well, that's the thing. You're running 7, and has it been consistent all year? Who's been running varsity?
Our 7 has been very fixed.
Okay.
Our 8 through 11 have helped us out from time to time, and they have shuffled quite a bit, which is always fun to see as well. And our JV race last night, we finished 5th, 6th, 7th, 10th, 8th, 14th, and 15th. We had 7 girls in the top 15. We lit up the JV race.
So that next wave, not necessarily this year you'll see that next wave. You might see it in the next year, but how important is that group, that 8 to 15, for your program as a whole?
Oh my goodness, they are so pivotal to what we do, because oftentimes we run a race with the JV before the varsity. And this is the game plan today. This is how we're going to run the course. And when they just light up the course like they did last night, it gives the varsity so much confidence. And it's a pretty younger group there behind. We've got 5 or 6 seniors in our top 9. So we're going to call on these girls next year, and they've had some racing experience and some big moments, and last night was one of those.
If you ever get to go out to a cross-country meet, watch him run with the girls. And I hear you talk through the course. We're going here. You had that earlier this year where your varsity had to run first, and it was a little bit of a different thing.
Yeah.
But that's part of the adjustment of learning on the fly for these kids.
Oh, absolutely. And that was over in Iowa City, and we had just ran down in Kansas 5 days prior, and we were really strong in Kansas as well. And 5 days turnaround to 2 big road trips, that's tough cookie to deal with. And then I gave them a tough plan, and I wanted them to maybe hurt a little bit, because I knew when we have state here in 3 more weeks that going through that hurt then was going to have them ready for that state meet.
All right, let's walk through the next 3 weeks then.
Yeah.
Conference next week.
Conference next week at Southeast Polk.
And that's a course you don't run a ton at, right?
We've ran there 1 time in 12 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
now our 8th grade runs there every year.
Sure.
So some of these kids have seen it.
And that's a fun course just because it is a course.
It is a course,
But it's got some good hills to it.
It's got some good hills.
What's the plan?
What's the plan?
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, obviously you want to qualify everybody.
Oh, yeah. So conference is conference, and for us, sometimes you just kind of get through conference.
Yeah.
You want to make sure everybody's healthy. So if we've got anything that's kind of flaring up or whatever, we'll set that kid out. It's just not worth, the last 3 weeks to run 3 in a row. You have to run those last 2.
Right.
And so I don't know if we're in that position or not, but that would be a piece of the puzzle. There's a nice big downhill start for that race, so you've got to kind of keep yourself in control so you're not just going out crazy and using all that free energy, because there's going to be some hills to climb later. So if you shred those legs early, it's going to be tough to climb those hills.
Yeah, especially on that backstretch. And then coming into the final, you got to remember, you got to go back up the hill that you started down.
That starting downhill just gets you at the very end. Yeah, climb it back
And then
out.
where's your qualifying meet?
Well, we won't know till Tuesday or Wednesday.
You won't find out yet?
We'll either be right back at Southeast Polk, or over to Marshalltown, or out to Council Bluffs.
You'll go wherever they tell you, right?
Absolutely.
All right.
Yeah.
Lastly, seniors, who's contributed to your program that might not show up in the media that has been good for you over the years?
Oh my goodness sakes. I have 27 seniors, and so that's a tall order. I will say Abby Draseco has been an amazing leader. Audrey Patkin has been an amazing leader. Cora Den Hartog is the pulse of this team. She's been a varsity runner. She's not this year. But those 3 girls for sure. And I know there's just, you get down into the other groups. Hillary Paulson is amazing. Addison Lundahl is just fantastic. They're just all great girls.
And that's the fun of it, because seniors cannot necessarily be your top 7, but they're extremely important to your program.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Yeah. All right, Coach, appreciate your time. We're back in a moment here. We're halftime of this football game. We'll see you in a moment here on CISN.
Western lets your UTV power through the storm. The Impact V Plow and Impact Straight Blade, with the features the pros demand. Custom tailored for your UTV. And to keep your work top notch, rely on the Tornado UTV Hopper Spreader. Now that's a job well done. Western, more jobs done faster.
Visit Truck Equipment Inc. today at truckequipmentinc.com.
Getting your car serviced or repaired can be a pain. That's why Westside Auto Pros is committed to making it as painless as possible. If you wish, we'll come get your car at your home or office and return it when it's done. Or you can drop your car off here and we'll shuttle you to where you want to go. When we're finished with your car, we'll come pick you up and bring you back. If your car is going to be here for a few days, we offer low to no cost rentals.
So give us a call and say, I can't wait to have my car serviced at Westside Auto Pros.
You want to get stronger, faster, healthier. You want more. You want to be part of something bigger than yourself. A place for people of all ages, all walks of life, that provides opportunities for all to succeed. We do that. We're the why. Build more than muscle. Build a stronger community.
Ankeny Centennial 31, Des Moines Roosevelt 3, halftime here at Ankeny Stadium. Let's take a look at some of the first half highlights, and it was a rough start for the Rough Riders, but they did get some positive action. This was early on. Ty Scott still in at quarterback. Goes on the reverse boot, and that's a play that they just haven't run because Scott was taken out of the game shortly after that on that pass to punt today. And then Scott again to the other side, but then this is where it started to get a little bit for the Jaguars. The interception by Woods picked up by Curvey after the fumble, and then it is Braden Jackson off the right side, makes a nice cutback against the grain, powers his way in for 20. That's a 14-yard touchdown run there. And then now again it is a great play here for Roosevelt. They get a couple of back-to-back ones. That's to Rylan Malloy. And that drive would stall out. And then the Jaguars would go to work here. Find the tight end, when in doubt, go up the middle on the seam route. Kane Brooks. That's the touchdown for the Jaguars. And then Kluver again with time. This time he throws, plants his feet, throws across his body, falling backwards, dive, catch, touchdown, Braden Jackson. Nice play there. And that is a look at your first half highlights as the Jaguars, you can see, outstretching. And let's go down to the field to John Schaefer.
Now with Ernst Brunn, and Ernst, tough first half there. What do you tell these guys to kind of get some small victories out of this game tonight against the Centennial team?
Just one play at a time. That's the mentality we had coming in. It's the mentality we're going to have going into the second half. We got to take a one play. Trust what you're doing. Make sure you're flying around. Make sure you're making the play. That's all it is right now.
Lose Ty at quarterback. How tough does this become on offense here?
It's pretty tough, man. Putting our athlete back there. Got some things drawn up at halftime for him. Again, but nothing changes up front. We still got to block. We still got to run the backs in, so we still got to hand the ball off. And we got to get quick game going to him a little bit there. So, yeah, it's a little adversity for us, but that's why we love the game of football. That's why we teach and coach these kids every single day. When adversity sets in, who's going to overcome?
All righty, thanks so much. Good luck in the second half.
Thank you.
All righty, Paul, back up to you.
Appreciate it, John. Thanks for your patience there. I looked up, and there he was standing. Let's go. Tim, you're looking at the stats. We have a couple of minutes. I want to give a quick rundown. Let's look at Roosevelt. 100 yards passing on 4 for 9. 19 yards rushing on 18 carries. Fulton, 12 for 27. Thomas, 3 for -3. Scott, 2 for -5. And that's how you end up with 19 yards. And then Fontude, 2 catches, 72 yards. Malloy, 1 catch for 20 for a total of 119. For the Jaguars, 11 of 14 passing, 136. And rushing 11 for 72 yards. Kluver has been able to find lots of guys tonight. He's found Reed, 3 catches, 57. Jackson, 2 catches, 25. Brooks, a pair for 36. And a touchdown. Brule, 1 for 5. Heather, 2 for 12. Rushing, Braden Jackson doing Braden Jackson things. 7 carries, 64 yards. Haven't needed much more, Tim, than Braden Jackson tonight.
No, he's kind of doing it all. And like I said, he's been lined up. He's been the tailback. He's been lined up as a wing. He's lined up as a wideout. They move him all over the place. So forcing that defense to find either a defensive back or a linebacker. And I'm looking at Kluver's done a nice job passing to 6 different receivers. So the passing game going. Rushing game, only 72 yards rushing. They're keeping him contained fairly well. The Roosevelt defense is doing a decent job. We're going to watch those deep balls that Kluver has been hitting here at a very consistent rate.
Roosevelt has punted it 4 times in the first half. Let's take a look at some of the RPI standings, as Tim has alluded to it a couple of times. Moving day and kind of moving weekend, as we have some scores that we'll get to here in a moment. Right now, it's Ankeny 17, Liberty 14. They are at half. Polk 14, Waukee 7, Johnston rolling. Abe Lincoln of Council Bluffs 56-0. Dowling 35, Urbandale 7. Waukee Northwest in front of Ottumwa 37-13. Iowa City West leads Cedar Rapids, Washington 28-14. Marshalltown 20, Ames 7. No score yet, Muscatine, Pleasant Valley. Valley leads Waterloo West 14-0. Linn-Mar rolling Davenport West 49-0. Hempstead a point better than Kennedy 14-13. Cedar Falls in front of Senior 31-0. And Sioux City East all over Des Moines Lincoln tonight 45-0. Your Iowa High School Athletic Association RPI rankings. There's where Ankeny Centennial sits, 14. Council Bluffs Lincoln at 16. Tim, these are just numbers, but I'm guessing there's going to be a lot of change here with some of the action here this weekend.
Yeah, because the RPI is based on, 75% of the score is based on your record and your opponent's record. So that's a lot of it. So you always want the teams you played to win the following week so you can do better. But if you're sitting at, like Council Bluffs is sitting at the 16 in the RPI right now, they're looking at it because the top 16 make the playoffs. So some of these teams are going to get knocked down. Some of these teams have gotten in there, like Ankeny. We mentioned they're the only 3-3 team in the top 16 based on, the strength of schedule. Their opponents have had a 33-21 record. So that's where these factors come in. We'll see some teams move out where you move up. Then after this weekend, the RPI will come out again with 2 more games to go. So these are important games down the stretch.
Ankeny next week, their home finale of the regular season with a game against Valley. We'll have the call here on CISN. As we begin half number 2, it's going to be a touchback. Great kick there for Abel Kennedy. Touchback, so the Jaguars will start. And let's go down. John Schaefer is with us here. John, you had a chance to talk to Coach. You had a chance to kind of see what's going on. What's the mood like down there, John?
I mean, the mood is about what you'd expect. I ran into Ty Scott there on the way out, too. He's just trying to get crutches that fit him right now. But nonetheless, this Roosevelt team looking for small victories, chatting with their AD briefly, who, mind you, was my old hockey coach back when I was about 12 years old. He's talking about schedules and things like that. There's a lot of work that goes into these seasons, but for a team like Roosevelt, they need a schedule that's more conducive early on. And so, again, look for some small victories here, but you kind of know where this game's at.
Braden Jackson starts things off for Centennial, kind of the way the first half 10-yard gain. We have a whistle at the end of that play.
Long whistle.
That was a lot of whistle there as Mohamed Guma. And, Tim, here's the thing. It's going to be a hold is the call.
Called on Gavin there. They're having a lot of success running off that right side of that formation. You got Jurovich in there and DeKay really doing some good blocking.
Roosevelt over the years when we've seen a lot of talent, depth has always kind of been their issue. I think John was talking to us about the freshman game last night. It was 70 on the sideline for Centennial and like 32 for Roosevelt. So, that's a hard number to overcome, but you just take it 1, 2, 3 guys at a time. Get him to stay out, get him to spend some time in the weight room. Braden Jackson spent a lot of time in the weight room, takes that handoff around the left side. Now he's going to cut it back at the 15. He's at the 20, spins his way down to about the 23-yard line before he is brought down by Austin Cohen for the Rough Riders.
Pretty good stiff arm there to Joshua Hines, and he gave himself another, 5-6 yard gain off that. But you mentioned, the facility, looking at Roosevelt, their facilities, they haven't won a lot, so then where's their enthusiasm? So the coach is really trying to build up why you want to come out, teaching it the right way, and that's how you learn. It's a play at a time, as you talked about coming out in halftime. So you build on the little things that make you a much stronger team down the road.
And you got guys like former Cyclones that are on your coaching staff, and that you can ask them some questions that not many guys can answer. Handoff Jackson up the middle, does one stiff arm, then bops it outside. He's down the near sideline, gets to about the 38-yard line before he's shoved out of bounds by Bradford. And also in there is Molzen Ansa.
Bradford for the defense. Pick up the first down will be 1st and 10.
One thing that Braden Jackson noticed from Porter last year, how much bigger he was and stronger. He's not so much heavier than he has been. He's about 185 pounds, but he really does pack it in there. And I think his leg strength, he scores his shoulders to the line of scrimmage. He's got a good burst of speed, so he's balancing it out here this senior year in his running back position.
First down and 10 for the Jaguars from the 38. They go Isaac Brule on the jet sweep around the outside. Makes a couple of Rough Riders run into each other to block them. And he'll get to about midfield before up in the neighborhood at least there. We haven't said Evan Wold yet tonight. He was helping turn that play back inside. Pickup of 6.
Another one of those two-way players for Roosevelt. One thing what knows there is that Sam Heather from his fullback or tailback position or the wingback he was playing there, good crackback block. So when Brule comes around the outside, he kind of sucks that linebacker in.
Kluver goes under center, and he goes Braden Jackson around the sweep, and Jackson's got the first down. He's down the far sideline before he is pushed out of bounds.
Jackson on the carry.
By Bradford. And I think we have...
Whistle on the far sideline.
There's a penalty flag. It's like they blew the whistle like a penalty flag. It is sitting at the 49-yard line of Roosevelt.
This will drive a coach crazy. He doesn't like the...
black.
Brule has been out there a couple of times, and I've had the glasses on him, and it's like, okay, that could be called a hold by some definitions, and that time he does get flagged for it.
It's so hard to block in space because the guys are moving, unlike the interior line. Everybody's kind of bunched together in this big, scrum. So when you're out there, and you tend to get those arms extended away from your body, or else you catch the side of a shoulder instead of getting, get your hands on their numbers. So that's easy to reach out there, and that's usually going to be called because officials can see that.
Makes it a 2nd and 7 now after the penalty. Reverse blown up, and let's see if Brule can escape. He cannot. Great defensive play. And they, Collins and Guma, they were celebrating. We did it. We got it. They read that play like a book.
Well, they got penetration in the backfield. That's the key to that. You got behind the line of scrimmage. You blew it up there, so they almost took the handoff. They got there in the backfield, so big loss there. So I'm sure Coach Pezzetti is looking like we just had a holding penalty. We lost a bunch of yards there, so this is not the ideal drive you'd imagine coming out in the second half.
3rd and 17, ball on the 32. 9 minutes to play. Third quarter. Braden Jackson next to Kluver in the backfield. Kluver to throw, steps in front. He'll throw downfield's got a man. It goes off Brooks' helmet and hands. Incomplete. 3 Rough Riders there on coverage.
Intended for
and Bradford was almost the one who came away with it.
Yeah, it bounced and came back a little bit, surprised him. But Brooks had beaten the coverage down the center of the field.
Stretch number 35, Richard Schmidt.
Kluver looked like he was going to run, stop just short line of scrimmage, and chucked him downfield.
Just maybe a hair underthrown right there. And I think this is the first punt of the night. It is for, and it's Bendezu. He gets a high kick into the lights, flutters down, and it's going to take a Jaguar roll. And finally going to be downed by Sam Heather.
Bendezu is down.
So we had seen Bassett as the punter. Bendezu did that drop from the point
rugby
kick.
drop.
Yeah. Take over 1st and 10.
Gets a lot of height off the ball, similar to his kickoffs. But Bassett's been doing a good job. He's been averaging 37.5 yards a punt, so he's been a quality punter throughout the year. It just gives a little variation here on the punting duties. Always, a second kicker is not a bad idea.
Well, you never know when a guy's going to go down for anything. Or person, because we do have a female place kicker as well for the Jaguars that could play, and the pass is thrown, and it's caught near sideline. Rylan Malloy gets a couple of yards after the catch.
Fulton's pass complete.
How he came
Fulton throws the ball.
How he got out of that, 3 tacklers where he just kind of squirmed to his wide middle sidestep, and he got by there and picked up, 6 yards.
6 on the play. It'll be 2nd and 4.
Dell makes the tackle there.
Fulton's 1 for 1 in this game. As Coach talked about, we put our athlete in the backfield. So he's the best athlete that they have on offense. True athlete is Eddie Fulton. So he gets the nod at quarterback here after the injury to Scott.
Should have asked, when was the last time Fulton played quarterback, and he's going to keep it. And he is trying to get to the outside. He's got some speed, and he's got his legs taken out by Bassett. Or no, I'm sorry, that's DeWay.
Of the offense, tackle was made by number 26 Prince DeWay.
And that'll be a third and short here. 3rd and 4. I'll tell you what, Roosevelt just keeps fighting here. I mean, they all over the field. We've come right, we've come left.
Yeah, if they can get there, it's like one block off, or if someone's not holding a block a little bit, just that little seam they can get a little bit of a break there. They've got some good athletes on the outside there. So empty backfield for Eddie. Will he take off and run or try to pass?
Roosevelt's got to get to the 34 to extend the drive before the play. The play clock had expired. And it is going to be timeout, Roosevelt.
Timeout White, their first.
31-3 is our score here from Ankeny Stadium.
Save big at DeYarman CDJR Ames. Receive 2.9% for 84 months on the new Dodge Hornet RT, Grand Cherokee 4xE, and Jeep Wrangler 4xE. New Ram 1500 4x4s at one low price of $35,990. New Ram HD Crew Cab 4x4 starting at $47,990. That's over $13,000 off. Plus up to $10,000 off MSRP on new 2024 Grand Cherokees at the all-new DeYarman CDJR Ames. DeYarmanAmes.com.
Third down out of the timeout. 4 yards to go. Fulton. Handoff. And not going to get it. Not going to get it as Thomas. Caden, the sophomore, just could not get his head down and get his feet moving forward. Just kind of stood up there.
For Roosevelt.
Woods and Nuring.
On the play, brings up 4th down.
A good job with the defensive line there. Just spreading it all out along the sideline, to the sideline.
And on to punt again for Centennial is Cullen Arnold. High snap, pulls it down, gets it away before 4 black shirts go away from Wiesek, touches it, loses control, and he is going to be dropped back down at the 30. I think he thought he fair caught him, but once you fumble it, the fair catch is off.
Right, good open field tackle there. Pierce Hallberry, freshman defensive back.
Number 17, Del Wiesek. Jaguars will take over first.
Liberty scores on a 7-yard touchdown run. They now lead Ankeny 21-20 over in Iowa City tonight. Southeast Polk still leads Waukee 14-7. Prairie starting to roll Jefferson tonight, 49-7. Iowa City West puts another touchdown on the board as Braden Jackson takes the handoff up the middle, cuts it through. He's at the 50, he's at the 40. There's a foot race to the pylon. 20, 10, Braden Jackson, touchdown, number 3 on the night for the Jaguars.
Touchdown, number 1,
Looked
Braden
like a
Jackson.
73-yard touchdown run, or 67-yard touchdown run.
Sage Holmes and Christy Lee.
For Jackson, took it up there, cut it back to the left.
Thank you, Sage Holmes and Christy Lee.
Boy, what a play by Braden right there. Nice cut back. A lot of yards after that first contact.
Good blocking down to that second level, creating some more seams for him, just that he didn't get touched all the way to the end zone.
Bendizu on to attempt the extra point. Kick is up, and it is good. 35-point lead for the Jaguars with 6:17 to play.
Hi, this is Chris from Fireplace Superstore, and you and I both know that you've been wanting to convert your drafty old wood-burning fireplace into a high-efficient gas one. Well, this is the perfect time. Heating Glow is making it easier than ever. If you buy this year between September 15th and October 13th, Heating Glow is giving a free vent kit worth up to $650, making it easier than ever to convert that old wood burner. But the best deal in years won't last, so come on in today. Fireplace Superstore, just west of Homemakers at 109th and Douglas.
Getting your car serviced or repaired can be a pain. That's why Westside Auto Pros is committed to making it as painless as possible. If you wish, we'll come get your car at your home or office and return it when it's done. Or you can drop your car off here and we'll shuttle you to where you want to go. When we're finished with your car, we'll come pick you up and bring you back. If your car is going to be here for a few days, we offer low to no cost rentals.
So give us a call and say, I can't wait to have my car serviced at Westside Auto Pros.
Burkwood Farms, North Ankeny High.
Braden Jackson scored on runs of 14 and 73. He's also caught a pass. That's 3 for the senior. Centennial 38, Roosevelt 3. So we will have a continuous clock here after this kickoff. Ben DeZu's kick is going to be taken at the 5. Running down that far left side, nice move. Gets up to about the 25-30 yard line.
Return by number 21, Bradford, 4.
Bradford the return. John Schaefer the report down on the sideline.
Hey, thanks, Paul. I was worried there for Centennial. I don't know that Coach Pezzetti would have been happy with how they started this half, having to punt it away on their first drive of the night, letting Roosevelt maybe get a few yards there, but that's the answer you want. Every time tonight that Centennial's needed a big play and to kind of just remind Roosevelt who they are, well, it's been Braden Jackson stepping up and doing it. Tim, you had the right yardage on it, 67 yards to the house, perfect seam up the middle, untouched all the way to that goal line and beyond. And, well, now Centennial's just going to try and finish this one out healthy.
Play for Roosevelt gets up to about the 25-yard line, and it's the quarterback keeper,
Fulton,
Eddie Fulton.
By number 8, Reed Anderson.
Reed Anderson there, and oh, goodness, is Fulton down now? Oh, he is. Eddie Fulton's down.
Looks like he got folded up a little bit on the tackle.
Oh. Tough play, injury timeout here on CISN.
A fuel choice that even rivals can agree on? Now that's worth the hype. Cheaper, cleaner, and homegrown. Pump it up with unleaded 88.
Western lets your UTV power through the storm. The Impact V Plow and Impact Straight Blade, with the features the pros demand. Custom tailored for your UTV. And to keep your work top-notch, rely on the Tornado UTV Hopper Spreader. Now that's a job well done. Western, more jobs done faster.
Visit Truck Equipment Inc. today at truckequipmentinc.com.
Eddie Fulton is helped off the field by his training staff. He was holding that left leg, or that was the one giving him fits. He's able to go off on his own power, but we're going to see the third quarterback of the night for Roosevelt. It's going to be the senior Rylan Malloy, 5'10", 165. He's listed as a wide receiver defensive back, and now he is going to lead the Roosevelt offense, trailing 38-3, 5:33 to play here, third quarter. Tonight at Centennial. Malloy first snap, drops it, picks it up, now runs for his life to the far sideline, or near sideline. Doesn't get any far because Curvey wraps him up back there. Loss on the play.
Brandon Malloy on the carry, tackled by
Curvey showing good lateral
Hawkeye
speed,
Curvey.
getting out there on the quarterback. Get him in the backfield, dropping him for a loss. About 5 yards.
Curvey listed only with 12 tackles coming into tonight's game. He's probably had 5 already.
Yeah, but he's missed a few games. So I think he's had some injuries, so he's not had the impact. And many times he doesn't get the tackle, but he impacts the play by holding the edge on there and not letting him get to the outside.
Malloy is going to hand it off to Caden Thomas, who will get maybe to the 20. And it'll be 3 and out for Roosevelt as the clock rolls here.
By number 9, Mitchell Grider.
Mitch Grider there creating the beginning of that wall,
down.
and the rest of his
Fourth
friends
ball.
came over and put a stop to that running play. So he's done a good job there at his defensive tackle position.
Arnold getting a workout tonight. He's out to punt again, second time this half.
They've been close on the blocks.
Stands back at his own 8-yard line. Gets that one away. Best one of the night right there. Nice high hanger. taken at the 40. That's Max Schmitz who returns it.
Returned by number 46, Max Schmitz.
About 6 yards up to the 47-yard line.
First and 10.
Now we'll start to see. So Kluver is on the sideline there like he's going in. They're holding the play up. Let's see if we get maybe some. No, that is the starting lineup. There's a couple of different backs. Now I see into the game is Devin Good. Now, Devin had run a few plays earlier this season in that running back spot. He's back, replacing Braden Jackson, whose night may be done. We'll see. Not much more for Braden to prove. Bassett takes the handoff. On the end around, he cuts his way back to the 45, now near the 42, which is a first down for the Jaguars. Pickup of 11 on the play. Tackle for Roosevelt there by Jake Boding.
Yeah, attacking the kind of a soft corner there for the Roosevelt defense. You'll look to getting out there. Caleb Breed getting out there, getting some downfield blocks, which creates a big running room for Bassett on the outside.
It's actually Quentin Harrison who made the tackle for Roosevelt. They go to Bassett incomplete. Tried to go over his shoulder there on the play action, kind of fake to him, and then there wasn't really anybody to get lost other than his eyes on where that football was. Incomplete. Not stopping the clock as we are in 35-point rules.
Seeing a mix of starters and reserves coming in there, getting the blend in there, real-time action. Because you never know, you get into the playoffs, someone goes out, you got to step in. You want to have, face the bullets flying there in a real game.
Well, if you're Roosevelt, you go through, you're on your third quarterback. Anything's possible. A couple of big hits, and it's good. The handoff, he almost breaks that tackle, but not quite.
Devin Good.
On the stop is Guma and also Cohen.
Richard Schmidt. It'll bring up 3rd and 6.
Yes, Roosevelt defense has done a good job, really playing up, heads up, giving up, a lot of weight on the size on the offensive line to that defensive line. But, they've done, Surratt, Gume, Vassey's been in there, done a good job. They're really holding their own, that interior defense of Roosevelt.
Kluver to throw down the far sideline. He's got a man on the wheel route, incomplete. He was trying to get it to Caleb Reed.
Doing a quick look in and took the post pattern, but overthrew him by about a yard.
Kluver's pass,
and that's 4th down.
False incomplete.
And right now, Kluver is staying out there.
That'll bring up 4th down.
Might try that same play. Usually, with Reed, he does a good job, playing more of that little skinny post. They don't need a lot of yards. Sometimes that little quick look in can get you that 7-8 yards you need to get the first down.
4th and 6. They go up the middle to Heather. He has the first down. He's inside the 20. Before he's brought down by about 4 Rough Riders. The leading one is Richard Schmidt.
Yeah, either he lines up in the backfield, but he came out of that slot position there, just ran up the hash marks, found an open spot there, picked up the necessary yards for a first down. Good pass and catch, Kluver to Heather.
A couple of guys not wanting to put necessarily a big hit, just trying to tackle him. Now it's 1st and 10 from the 17. Final 30 seconds of this third quarter. Bassett on the sweep. End around. He's at the 20 to the 10. Cuts it back inside the 5 towards the end zone. But he's going to be short by about a yard.
Bassett with the carry.
Therefore,
to the 1-yard line.
Mbuthi is there for Roosevelt.
Into the Joe Bennett Holmes red zone. We appreciate their support.
Mbuthi sorry, I forgot the
Thank you, Joe Bennett Holmes.
Ball's at the 1. And that is how the third quarter is going to end. Quarter number 4 when we come back. Centennial 38, Roosevelt 3.
Ever have one of those awkward moments when a business disappointed you? You got ripped off? Didn't get what you expected? The Better Business Bureau can help you avoid these uncomfortable situations. BBB accredited businesses are honest, ethical, and reviewed annually by the BBB. Don't experience another awkward moment with a bad business. Trust the ones that operate with integrity. Look for the BBB seal. It's the sign of a better business. And find a better business anytime at bbb.org.
Western lets your UTV power through the storm. The Impact V Plow and Impact Straight Blade, with the features the pros demand, custom tailored for your UTV. And to keep your work top-notch, rely on the Tornado UTV Hopper Spreader. Now that's a job well done. Western, more jobs done faster.
Visit Truck Equipment Inc. today at truckequipmentinc.com.
A fuel choice that even rivals can agree on? Now that's worth the hype. Cheaper, cleaner, and homegrown. Pump it up with unleaded 88.
Quarter number 4 begins with Kluver handing the ball off to Heather. He stood up at the goal line, and he's going to lose a yard maybe.
I think he did.
There first for Roosevelt. Got to see that guy's number. Yep, number 9. That's that's Christensen.
Yeah, nice job, senior.
Here's a look at that replay. Yeah, he went right through that lead block, blew up the play.
Read the gap perfectly. Came timed in. He got in behind the block, and that's no easy task to hit Huther in the hole.
2nd and goal from the 1. Heather again, the lone setback behind Kluver. Good goes in motion. They go again, same play, but this time Heather's able to heave his way into the end zone for a touchdown.
That Jaguar touchdown is by number 10, Sam Heather.
And someone's down when the lineman usually happens to get rolled up on.
The Jaguar touchdown
like it was Owen Lichty there.
Christy Leak. We appreciate their support of Ankeny Centennial football.
Leading in the block.
Sage Holmes and Christy Leak.
Let's see. We got Riley coming out. No, Bendazoo. Okay. Yep, one of your starting linemen.
He was leading in the block play, and usually the people land in the back of his legs, and he's walking off his own power, but it doesn't feel good when you're pushing off on your legs and someone lands on the back of him, all that pressure on there, and you see an ankle, sometimes a knee gets twisted.
So Lichty's helped to the sideline. Bendazoo on to attempt the extra point. And he connects. 45-3, Jaguars in control.
Save big at DeYarman CDJR Ames. Receive 2.9% for 84 months on the new Dodge Hornet RT, Grand Cherokee 4xE, and Jeep Wrangler 4xE. New Ram 1500 4x4s at one low price of $35,990. New Ram HD Crew Cab 4x4 starting at $47,990. That's over $13,000 off. Plus up to $10,000 off MSRP on new 2024 Grand Cherokees at the all-new DeYarman CDJR Ames. DeYarmanAmes.com.
Metro Heating and Cooling is celebrating 40 years of keeping Des Moines comfortable. To celebrate, this October we're offering $40 off one of our seasonal maintenance plans or $40 off any repair. Get your home ready for the colder months with expert care and big savings. Whether it's a quick tune-up or a much-needed fix, we've got you covered. So call Metro Heating and Cooling today to celebrate 40 years with $40 off this October. Trust the team that's been keeping you warm since 1984.
Sam Heather gets into the scoring column with a 1-yard touchdown run. Ryan Bendazoo boots it, and it does make the end zone. With that northerly breeze of 2 miles an hour, so everybody sees you, John Schaefer. That was a good call on the weather. Brad Edwards would be proud.
Paul, I lost you there for a second. I'm just going to assume you're talking great about me as always.
As always.
Lovely weather, right?
Yeah.
So with that, yeah, absolutely. A nice little drive there put together by the Jaguars, marching it down the field a little bit more methodical. Now you take your starters out because you cannot risk it with just 2 games left in the regular season. Can you believe I'm saying that, by the way? 2 games left in the regular season and a big one against Northwest next week on the road. You need your team healthy and ready to roll into that game with some confidence.
Centennial plays at Northwestern. They close the regular season with Urbandale in week 9. Handoff up the middle. Thomas makes his way to about the 25-yard line. Roosevelt next week will be at Waukee, and then they'll host Des Moines East in Week 9.
That was made by number 29, Jeremiah Roberson,
Carter,
for
Blount,
the defense.
Reed coming out,
Gain of about
linebackers
7, it'll be
being
second
subbed out.
3.
So now we'll do our best to get as many of these guys in for the final 10:25 as we look at the replay. There by the Metro Heating and Cooling. Replays all night. So now again, new quarterback, Ryan Malloy. Rylan is going to hand it off. And it's going to be a couple of tough yards there for Thomas, but he is going to get the first down up to the 32-yard line.
That was made by
Yeah, good cutback. I
Morris.
guess is behind Trent Wickman, their center. A nice block there, created enough of a lane for Thomas to cut back, pick up a first down. So
32-yard line.
A little bit of a ground game going on here, knowing that they're probably not going to pass as much as they did if they would have had Ty Scott in at quarterback.
Ben Rodert is in there. Avery Morris over center. A handoff again. Good twist and turn there by Thomas to get up to the 42.
Again, the ball carrier.
True tight end in there, the
That
linebacker.
was made by
Augustine
number
Christensen
17,
comes
Del
in,
Wiese.
lining up a tight end on the left side
Gain
of the
of 5,
formation.
it'll
So
be second and 5.
a little bit different, true running formation for Roosevelt.
Del Wiesack comes up to make the tackle from the safety position. Second and 5 for Roosevelt at the 37. Handoff now coming towards the edge and then just getting stood up at the 40. For Roosevelt, that's Pierce Halberry.
Pierce Hallberry on the carry. Tackle was made by number 29.
Coming up for Roosevelt, Jeremiah Roberson. Roberson in on one of the plays
Pick up
earlier
four,
on in the
third and
game and
1.
special teams. Now getting to play some defense here in the final 8 minutes.
Yeah, Rodert coming in, but not after that he had gained 9 yards on the running play.
Third and very short for Malloy. He's got Thomas next to him, and they give it to him. Thomas cut back, puts his head down, takes Rodert with him, gets the first down on the play.
Carry, tackle made by number 41. Ben
And also
Rodert.
in there for
the
Centennial is Avery
Roosevelt
Morris.
picks up first down. It'll be first and 10.
Senior defensive lineman playing the
From their own
nose position,
44-yard line.
or basically right tackle position, that A gap. But the offensive line for Roosevelt getting a little bit of a push, or they're getting some positive yards. It's something they can build on, is that they have a nice, running drive going. They can go against, the second level players for Centennial here.
Handoff and a couple of tough yards there for Thomas. He'll get to about the 47.
Carries by number 27, Thomas. Tackle was made
Cade
by number
Newman
51, Christian Lufkow.
Came in on the tackle.
Gain of a
Newman
couple,
plays
it'll be
tight
second
ends, playing
and
one of the
7.
linebacker positions.
Coming up on 7 minutes to play.
Now, will Roosevelt put the ball in the air? I don't know what kind of a passer Malloy is.
Handoff. Nice run there by Caden Thomas, the sophomore. He'll get into Jaguar territory
Thomas on the carry. Tackle was made
before he's
by
brought down
number
by Enos.
27, Gavin Matheny.
Good blocks with left tackle.
For the
Grayson
defense.
Berkeley, number 70, that nice block. The tight end,
Moves
as
the
the
ball
linebacker
to
came
the
in,
40-yard line, first and 10.
Christensen.
All right, we got to help John here on post-game interviews. What do you think here? We've talked to Braden Jackson
Yeah.
before.
We have.
Good night for him. But is
Well,
that
have we talked to Heather? Heather Brooks,
Brooks was a name I
yeah,
I
he had a
floated
couple
out
big
there.
catches, yeah.
Couple of guys we'll see if we can chase down here. And it's a handoff again. And
Almost a horse collar.
Yeah,
I think
Halberry just about ripped down.
Penalty on the play.
And they are going to call a penalty flag. Oh, they're going to say face mask instead.
Cale Woods, he had 2 big plays. He had the pick.
That's true.
And he also they had the field goal in the first half, and he saved a touchdown running down.
Face mask is the call going against
that time was Alex Pontaday. So, Cale Woods.
Cale Woods is another
throw a name out.
Ball to the 28-yard line.
You almost had it. You almost had your pick 6.
Roosevelt.
It's a good thing Curvey's there to help you out.
You got the assist.
There you go.
Yeah.
You did the hard work. I
Yeah.
said his name. That means it's of record, right? Until we go back and redub the highlights.
Does Curvey owe him a lunch for that?
Malloy rolls out, throws, off the fingertips of Pontaday.
Pass from number 8, Ryland Malloy, intended for number 2, Alex Pontaday.
First pass attempt by
False,
Malloy.
incomplete. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Ryland Malloy had caught 4 passes for 140 yards and 2 touchdowns. Hadn't thrown yet. That was his first throw of the season. And depending on how tough the injuries are here for Roosevelt, you don't know who's going to play quarterback next week. Malloy hands it off. And it's again
Thomas
to
on the
Thomas.
Carry, tackled by number 85, Cade Newman.
Cade Newman up for the stop.
Gain of 2, it'll be 3rd and 8.
Newman did a nice job getting off his block, getting out there and getting the tackle on the outside. You always want to get off, lineman get on you. You want to get away from that as quick as you can. Pick a side. It's always better to go to the outside, force the running game to your inside.
Malloy to throw it again. Rolls out, lots of time, then his clock expires, and there wasn't anybody there. He was getting pressure.
Roderick was there putting the pressure on him. He had no place to go, so he just threw the ball out there to the flat, preventing the sack.
Owen Gasperi also in there, but yeah, Malloy had a lot of time, and then that clock just expired.
Good job by Roderick playing the end position, not let the quarterback get past him to the outside. More of an open lane to have that run pass option.
Malloy hands it off to Thomas. Nice move inside the 25. Now he's into the 20.
There's a 4th down play. There'll be a turnover on downs.
Fans, how about a big round of applause for our varsity cheerleaders down on the track.
And that is how Roosevelt's probably last possession of the game will go. It's Thomas, who really had a nice set of runs here on that last drive.
Jaguars will take over 1st and 10
before he was the tackle for. That was Ryland Pezzetti who was in there on the stop.
Premium sponsors.
They took the drive from their own 25-yard line. They drove down to the 20. So that was a really decent drive. The longest drive that they had tonight on offense. So we're showing some spunk here. Fight to the end.
And it's a handoff. And not much more than a
KRM Custom Home
barely back to the
Builders,
line. Jeremiah Bassett.
Of America.
He stood up there. Winston James there for Roosevelt. Liberty leads Ankeny 28-20. Southeast Polk 10 better than Waukee right now. Dowling 42, Urbandale 21. Iowa City West 28, Washington 14. Marshalltown leads Ames 26-14. Quarterbacking now for is Doak. Yep, Rowan Doak. And they give it to Bassett on the sweep. He's outside at the 20, and then he's shoulder padded out by Bradford, who just kind of pushes it there. As we're under 2 minutes to play.
Pick up a couple of yards there, so 3rd and 7. A first down would be they could run it out.
Thought we might see the freshman Brecken Miller, but we haven't yet. It's Doak getting the calls here in the fourth quarter. Doak to throw. Lofts it up, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Roosevelt. That's Bradford. He's down the far sideline. He's at the 20 and pushed out of bounds at the 15-yard line. Just went up the ladder, grabbed that out of the air, and made the interception.
And T.J. Bradford came in this game with 3 interceptions on the season. Now he just picked up his 4th interception. So he's been a ball hawk all season long, so nice job there. He just got underneath the receiver there, went up and took the ball. So good interception by them. Little underthrown by Doak there going over the middle.
Finally pushed out of bounds. I think that was Devin Good who made the tackle. First and goal from the 9, 30 seconds to play. Let's see if Roosevelt can get into the end zone. They throw it down there, thrown up, and it is...
No, he said he...
incomplete.